It's a Jeep Adventure Days at All-Star Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Denham Springs. Head in now and get a new 2023 Jeep Gladiator Mojave 4x4, $12,000 off MSRP. That's right, $12,000 off MSRP. Go see the experts at All-Star Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Denham Springs. Find more.
Good morning, everybody. It is 7 a.m. on Monday, September 25th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 86. Coming up on OTB, we have a new edition of Weekend Winners at 8 a.m. and Hold the Mayo joins the show at 9:15. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 1 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I gotta come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome in OTB here at 104.5 ESPN. It's Monday, and I gotta say, boys, these Monday shows easily, the most fun shows that we do. There is just so much to talk about here locally. We got both good and bad. Two close games of the weekends for our teams. Two different results. LSU in an absolute battle on Saturday night. Find a way to get it done. Maintain possession of the best trophy in all of college football. But the Saints on Sunday could not maintain a 17-point lead as the offensive line that we said was going to be a problem all offseason. Well, it's a problem. So, look, we got a ton to break down today. We'll do our LSU film review here in hour number 1. I dove into the film last night about 3 hours, as we do every Sunday. Hour 2, we'll kick off with weekend winners, but then I think we'll probably get into the Saints after that. Then it sucks because I still have like a ton I want to talk about. I mean, there's a whole week 4 of college football. Shout out the pontoon parlay hit, boys. Nice work. We're 1-1. I mean, shoot, if we maintain like a 33% hit rate on that, then we're going to make some money.
That was a 4-teamer, too.
Yeah. But so how's that work? You get paid off the 3 because
you
Rutgers?
get paid off the 3 because Rutgers push, but, I mean.
But still.
Just some juice.
Still. Hey, Shiano, kick a field goal, you bum.
God, I thought he was, too. The only reason I thought he was because it would have made it a 3-touchdown game. That math actually tells you to, go ahead and kick a field goal there.
Whatever. It was a really great weekend of football, although that Saints loss does hurt. But let's dive into LSU Arkansas as we do. Actually, how are we doing today, boys? How are we feeling this Monday?
I'm all good. I mean, the Chargers won.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
They tried, but they didn't.
Yeah, they're in. Rough times in Minnesota right now. Taylor, how are you feeling after your Cowboys gave Josh Dobbs his first ever career win? Great story from over the weekend.
Yeah, I was so mad because I was like, man, you lose to Jonathan Gannon and the Cardinals. But then we were talking about it before the show. I'm like, you go back and look at the Cardinals' first 3 games. I'm like, are they actually like kind of good? Because their 2 losses have been
should be 2-1
one-score games. Yeah, exactly.
They blew that big lead last week. Mario, how you feeling after calling that game yesterday?
Not good after the game. But all in all, doing well. Shout out to Steve Gleason, 18 years ago today, blocked that punt against Atlanta.
Hey, right on, man. No white flags. No flags to the Saints here. Don't give up. We'll go through it.
The Cardinals definitely took the bus to the game.
Yeah, man, they're hungry. They got that
fire. Even though it was a home game, they took that bus.
Fire in the gut and everything.
Yeah.
All right, let's dive in then to our LSU Arkansas film review, Jake. And so me and you spoke with a kind of a sort of touchdown club thing on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great time. And we were talking and we were presenting a very confident front, right? Saying like, I think LSU is the much better team. I think they will thoroughly control this game. And I remember one of the questions we were asked was, well, okay, but how does it go wrong if it does go wrong? Or who do you fear? I think is maybe how both framed it. And the one thing we said was, well, it's KJ Jefferson, right?
Yep.
Because we've seen him be good in the past. And I even called up for you old heads out there, like an old, I think it was 2009 or 2010 Ole Miss LSU where Jeremiah Masoli randomly out of nowhere just went off against a very good LSU defense, and you end up in a who has the ball last win situation. And, well, it's exactly what came to pass. So if we're wondering, where was the fly in the ointment in terms of our predictions going awry here? It wasn't offensively. They looked great. To me, it was KJ Jefferson, who I played way better than I thought he would have, Jake, and that Arkansas offensive line. I think I was guilty of misjudging a bit too harshly, maybe after a weak second half against BYU, because they were fantastic. And that's why you ended up in a fight for your life on Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, I think we said it on the show. I know we certainly said it on Friday. KJ Jefferson was the guy because he has the capability of going off like he did, and he certainly did that and then some. And he doesn't do it consistently, but he has that ability. And even like LSU getting some rush on the quarterback, because I actually think that they rushed the quarterback pretty well considering where they were the first 3 weeks of the season where they didn't really do a nice job. They were all around KJ Jefferson, just could not get him on the ground, had their hands on him at times. And look, we know that's a strength of his, obviously, in his size, being able to get away from a rush and create a play. But there's issues too. Like they didn't make it hard for KJ Jefferson at times. It's not like now some of the plays were on him, but there was a lot of plays where it was just you. It wasn't attention to detail. You allowed somebody to go streaking down the sidelines a couple of different times. And look, any quarterback, but certainly a quarterback that has as many starts as he does, the ability that he has is going to find that open receiver.
And Jake, this is something that I think I want to pick your brain on a bit more in depth later, but the common theme here that we've seen develop in a couple of these games where, well, it went awry against Florida State, almost went awry here, the third and longs. These third and longs are crazy. Arkansas ends up 8 of 13 on third down, but it's not even a normal 8 of 13. We're talking like a 3rd and 18, a 3rd and 9, a 3rd and 10. And it feels like the zone coverage is, especially in those situations, just so soft, and guys are able to easily find these spots. And look, a lot of that does go to your opponent, right? You do have to credit KJ. He was masterful on his RPOs, manipulating, knowing where to go exactly with the ball every single time. But like if we're looking on limiting factors on an LSU team whose offense looks as strong as any in the entire country, if you're looking for limiting factors, the inability of the defense to get off the field at times has reared its head now in 2 of the 4 games, and it really almost cost you again.
Yeah, and it's frustrating because you're having performances out there defensively that you can get excited about.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I
mean?
mean?
Hard to talk about.
It is because, again, Jordan Jefferson, I thought, had another nice game.
Wait, how about this from Jordan Jefferson? Sorry to jump in here, but you perfectly set this up. Shout out Daniel Vlosky, Go Edits on Twitter, who points out Jordan Jefferson leads the team in run defense grade right now, with an 82.9. That ranks him as the number 9 defensive lineman in the entire Power 5 and number 2 in the SEC. And that's you got to have at least 75 run snaps. Even qualify. So that's a legitimate ranking.
I didn't know that, but that's not surprising watching the tape. So I thought he had another good game. I thought Whit Weeks is a dog. Whit Weeks is a dog.
I really love what Whit Weeks brings to bear. He has great natural instincts.
Yeah.
He uses his hands well to get off of blocks.
Physical at the point on those blocks.
Yes, had some tenacious. Yeah, like he is delivering blows to your offensive line, which you want your linebacker to do. He had some pretty tenacious pass rushes at times in this game. Whit Weeks has major potential when it comes to playing inside linebacker.
I mean, there's things that are bright spots, but it's just the entire group coming together. It's not close right now. It's not. I mean, I thought Harold Perkins had a couple of nice moments. I thought Mekhi Wingo had a couple of nice moments. I thought Greg Penn had a nice couple of moments. But, I mean, it's just not putting them all together at the same time. It's just not consistent. And then you continue to struggle at the safety position.
It's really bad.
I think, T-Bob, you're to a point where you got to start trying some other things. You got to start, maybe even if it's a young player. Because here's the deal. Okay, if it's, this older vet, he doesn't have the talent that the young guy has, but he's always where he's supposed to be. Well, okay, I can live with that. You want sound defense. But when the guy who doesn't have as much talent is also out of position, that's where you have a problem.
Yeah.
And zone coverage, you already mentioned it once, still floating sometimes and still not attention to detail.
And that's why I want to pick your brand on, because I don't know coverages well enough to exactly know who's supposed to be where. But that's how confused that LSU looks, is that they don't appear to know who exactly, like which responsibilities is whose on a lot of these plays.
They don't. And then even sometimes when they do, then they just kind of go rogue at the end of the coverage.
Yeah.
Like a coverage is a
scared.
coverage.
They get a little like happy feet almost, it feels like.
Like when you're called to go into, wherever you're supposed to be on the field to cover, like you can't leave that. Like there's also rules when things break down and what you do. And so that's been the most surprising thing, is the safety position right now just looks like they are lost. And I think you said it right. Like sometimes it's a panic.
Yeah.
Whenever things break down. You can't continue on down the road doing the same things in the back end.
No, and like you look forward to Ole Miss and this sort of stuff that'll get you in trouble. Like already I was concerned about LSU's defense going against an Ole Miss offense. Like you could be like, oh, but Alabama's a pretty good matchup for Ole Miss, right? Because the defense is the strength of that Alabama team, D-line, and you saw that on Saturday. This game only made me more concerned about trying to stop that Ole Miss offense, as you're probably looking at. It's going to be a shootout. So a lot to get fixed defensively. When we get back, though, I'm going to talk about Jayden Daniels, because I thought that his night was very interesting and can kind of inform us on just the quarterback he's becoming, where this team may go. So, look, youtube.com/1045ESPN. If you're there, hit the like button, share it with your friends, and we'll be back with more Off the Bench right after this.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
CentralPlumbing.org, CentralPlumbing.org. 925-8552 is the number. I had 6 adults staying in my house on Saturday. And over $100 worth of Taco Bell was bought late Saturday night. And I think what resulted was the equivalent of like a stress test for my plumbing. And it passed with full colors, okay? So shout out to Central Plumbing, because that's who makes sure that my system is always up and running. And if anything would have gone awry, well, when you overthink it, I don't overthink it, okay? I just go to centralplumbing.org, 925-8552, centralplumbing.org.
I mean, I'm not sure I have a story that can top that one, but I can just tell you to do what T-Bob told you to do. Go to centralplumbing.org, 24/7, 365 emergency service, 225-925-8552. But on that website, you'll find that they can do more for you than just emergencies, bathroom remodel, tankless water heater. Centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done, or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scoocha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs.
It's on. Join me for a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We'll hear from Brian Kelly reacting to LSU and Arkansas Saints Packers recap, and Denton Day from SiriusXM on the weekend in college football. Hunt Palmer Show 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Dude, I think U-High's trolling my wife. My kids never sleep in. Like, they never sleep in past like 6:30 ever in their life. They were still asleep. For once, she woke them up for school. 5 minutes later, comes in, school canceled because the power outage. Awful. Awful.
Poor Caitlin, sorry. The Hester boys are firmly asleep. I guarantee it.
All right, let's dive into this game. Like I teased before the break here, I want to talk about Jayden Daniels' day because it was a rough start, right? Immediately looked uncomfortable. First play of the game, he double clutches. Submarines a ball. He gets lit up from behind like Landon Jackson actually wins his first rep against Will Campbell. Weird start, right? Then you have third down. He submarines the ball to Malik Neighbors on 3rd and 4. You end up having a punt. The interception was bad. He gets played by Dwight McLaughlin, who I kind of feel like, look, in that play, they had Logan Diggs lined up all the way on the edge, 5 wide. And I felt like already Dwight's probably Spidey senses were going off. Like, hold on now. Like, they're definitely, he ain't getting this ball, right? Like, he ain't getting this ball. And then I don't know exactly what the coverage responsibilities were, but Jayden stares down Mason Taylor. McLaughlin plays it perfectly, gets picked. Jayden got spooked out of an opportunity where both Malik and Chris Hilton had man on the outside, wide open, and he ends up tucking the ball. He underthrows the first deep ball barely to Malik. That ends up getting broken up where the DB gets his hand in there. And then the Brian Thomas drive later, or Brian Thomas miss later, that same drive was way worse as, you know, Thomas had the defender by probably 2 links, needed to throw it deep, needed to throw it over the middle, threw it short and outside. At this point, you are down 10-0, and the game is at risk of spiraling out of control. And one thing that I want to see, Jake, out of an athlete, out of anybody really, anybody looks really good on their best day when everything's going great. Mm-hmm. What about when you come up and it's kind of a train wreck to start, which is exactly what it was at this. Excuse me, it was 6-0, then it was 6-3, then 13-3, right? Yeah. So, but like, what do you do when it's a train wreck and you just don't have it that day? And through a quarter and a half, Jayden Daniels in that offense did not have it, but it kind of all emanated from him. You know, are you able? And last year, what did we see? He couldn't really pull out of that spiral. It would continue the rest of the game. You'd have to rely on defense, maybe create a play somewhere to win the game. Well, that's why when we talk about growth points that you could see, that's what I saw on Saturday. Because there was all that bad for the first quarter and a half, and then for the next 2.5 quarters, when it matters most, when you got to have the plays, he was dominant. He was dominant. He absolutely caught fire. You come and so it's 6-0. You manage to put your first point to make it 6-3. Then it's 13-3 after a super impressive drive by Arkansas where they go the length of the field. I think they leave you about 50 seconds left. You're starting down 75 yards and you desperately need a score. What do? 2 bombs, bang, bang. Suddenly it's 10-7 at half. You manage, suddenly it's 13-10 at half. You manage to get in. What do you do when you come out the second half? Bang, bang, another deep ball, and your receiver makes sure we can get in all that. But suddenly it's 17-13, and Jayden Daniels never looks back after that point.
Yeah, to start the game, you started to feel like, oh, man, is this going to be a situation where he never finds it, like you said? And, like, being there in the stadium on some of those deep balls, I mean, just looked bad coming out of his hands. Yeah. Even the intermediate stuff, like everything was diving on him. I mean, it was submarining, like you said. It's a perfect way to say it because, like, it was going straight into the ground. And then, like, even on the deep balls, which against Mississippi State, I thought he did a really nice job of getting air on the ball, placing it right on the receiver. It just was not the case. A lot of line drives, and the ball was just dying. The nose was down on the ball, and I didn't know that he would be able to find it. And even, like, in successful ones at times, he didn't find it. I mean, some of those, I mean, you mentioned the first two.
Yeah.
The first 2 deep balls, I would say.
The first 2 successful ones?
Yes. Like, even those, like, were, like, coming out of his hand, it didn't look right, but he did stay with it. He did find his way in the second half, and then he started to really deliver the football, and it's good. It's good that you were able to come back, but if you hit some of those ones that were available there in the first half, I would have loved to seen where this game would have gone.
Yeah. No, look, I think if you hit those, this was a classic. You let Arkansas gain momentum as this thing went on. I mean, they stuck around. They had a lead. The defense kind of continued to unravel a bit. KJ Jefferson continued to find more and more of his flow, more and more of his zone. And so, yes, the missed opportunities in the beginning of the game kind of made this, were a piece of the puzzle that made this game in as close as it did. But again, I to me, the bigger highlight that I like here is you're failing on those deep balls, and then you're not, and you find a way. And look, you also have to rely on your receivers at times, right? Like the free play that ends up in the deep touchdown to Brian Thomas, make it 17-13. First off, a heads-up play. Getting got to jump off sides. Charles Turner snaps it. Everybody knows, okay, we get a shot. Yeah. Jayden looks off the safety and then snaps back and tries to chunk it at Thomas. Not a good throw. Again, free play. Whatever. The point is, you also have to rely on you are supposed to have such good wide receivers. So we're always saying, trust your receivers to make a play. Brian Thomas does. It's 17-13. But then he did have some real dimes a bit later on.
The 20-yard touchdown in the corner to Malik.
Dropped it in the bucket.
Was exactly where you want it. The last drive, it might have been the first play where you hit Malik on the sideline as well, like led your receiver there, allowed him to stay in bounds as well and pick up extra yards. Yeah, there were certainly throws, and it's hard because a lot of times when you see a quarterback come out and he's having that situation, it's like, this is going to last the entire game. I don't know what he changed, but being there on, like right there on the sideline, and I don't really know if the TV copy picked this up. There was one point in the second quarter where he comes back to the sideline. I don't know if he didn't make an adjustment in protection or what. Him and Brian Kelly, when I say they had like a full 3-minute discussion, like it was
a heated one?
No, I mean, there was a lot of hands going back and forth.
But not like yelling walking away.
But it was like a 3-minute conversation. And from that moment on, and then the next series is when you go get a touchdown before half, and then you continue on. So I don't know what was said in that conversation, but I have never really seen a coach, like for 3 minutes, it felt like, just sit there, have a one-on-one conversation with his quarterback. And so there was something that he wasn't seeing as well that felt like he picked up there. I don't know. I have to go back and watch the tape again, which play I'm talking about, but they brought pressure, and Brian Kelly could tell felt like he didn't maybe get them in the best position. And after that conversation, he played a lot better.
I'm trying to think. There were a couple times, certainly when you kick that first field goal, you take a sack in the red zone, and they just brought numbers. Nobody was hot. Don't know why. I don't know if that's – I don't think that's really on the quarterback. One of the receivers should have broken off their route. I love the touchdown right before half because it was everything that we talked about coming into this game, where you motion out Logan Diggs into 5 wide. What looks to be like a 2 safety look immediately changes to single high as you see a defender come down, and you're like, okay, they're in man, it's single high. Jayden knows this. What does he do? He trusts his receiver, scores a touchdown, and the entire tenor of the game changes. So here's my deal. A lot of y'all are probably sitting here complaining about Jayden. A lot of y'all probably, oh, he's not this. What's another thing we said on Friday, Jake? We said one thing we don't expect is for him to have another game like he had last year. Like just a complete fall off the face of the earth, get stopped. And not only did he not do that, but on a day where it felt like it was bad early on, he ends up 20 of 29 for 320 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a pick. He also rushes for an additional 50 yards. And if you look right now, guys, 4 games into the season, LSU's played 2 conference games and a game against the team that might be number 1 in the country, probably number 3, has the best 2 wins of the year in Florida State, right? So what I'm saying is this is a good sample size of competitive teams. Right now, if you look at SEC ranks, Jayden Daniels thrown for 324 yards a game, first in the SEC. He's thrown for 12 touchdowns, first in the SEC. He's completing 72% of his passes, which is 4th, but with Graham Mertz, Spencer Rattler, and Carson Beck ahead of him. He has a quarterback rating of 189, first in the SEC. And to go along with all of that, he's averaging 50 yards a carry on the ground and has 2 scores on the ground. And remember last year, what was the big dig on him? Non-explosive. Yards per attempt. I think he was about 7.5. He is 10.5 this year. If you are over 10 yards per attempt, not completion, 10 yards per attempt, it's the best single statistic to measure the efficiency, success, and just overall positivity coming from a passing game. If you're over 10, that is elite. So I don't know. Again, if like everything I just said, that ain't opinion. It's a fact. That's objective, as the canon would say. And so, like, if you're someone who still is sitting out here and you're like, I don't know about this guy, well, what do you not know? Like, what do you want? What do you want?
Yeah, look, 60% on third downs in this game. You had 509 total yards. T-Bob gave you what you had through the air, 320. You had 189 yards on the ground. You only had 5 penalties as a team to Arkansas's 11. The story of the game was, well, you gave up 426 yards of total offense.
Yeah.
And they were on downs where they had to have it. They were 9 of 14.
Yep.
That's the story of the game. Was the offense perfect? Certainly not. Not in the beginning, not in the first half. In the second half, pretty damn close.
I mean, no, they were perfect. Did they get stopped in the second half? I don't think so, right? I want to say when they were down 6-0 at that time, they obviously, well, they hadn't scored. And then they went field goal, touchdown.
Here, I got you. I got you right here. You went, let's see, end of second quarter. So you went touchdown, field goal.
Yeah, and you had a field goal before the touchdown, too, to make it 6-3, right? I believe.
Well, I'm just your second half.
Oh, that's just second half. So
yeah,
then,
that's what I'm saying.
So then you also add on a touchdown from the end of the first half and a field goal from the end of the first half.
Yeah.
So, no,
you went after you punted, you went field goal, touchdown, field goal. And probably like the field goal, like if you needed a touchdown.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like you settle for a field goal. And how about this? You get the ball back with 5 minutes left, and you know we have the opportunity to end this thing. If you're in a shootout, you don't give the ball back.
No. Because that game had K.J. Jefferson getting the ball, scoring 2-point conversion, Hollis win written all over it.
and okay, what else do we want to see him do? I was sitting up here and I was telling y'all, I don't know about this receiver group. We keep crowning them. They need to do something. Like we got to take advantage of it. Okay. On Saturday, Rival game for a trophy. Brian Thomas, 5 catches, 133, 2 touchdowns. Malik Neighbors, 8 catches, 130, 2 touchdowns. Go to Malik Neighbors' SEC ranks. 130 yards a game, second in the conference. 32 catches, first in the conference. 5 touchdowns, second in the conference. Fun fact, Brian Thomas, 5 touchdowns as well.
The receiver room is exactly what we thought it would be. Now, third option, still like to see a third option maybe continue to try to be there. We thought it was Kyron Lacey. Right now, not playing as much as he was at the beginning of the year. Chris Hilton's been in there a little bit more. So
I think it's probably Hilton, right? Than just like kind of a Shaheed, like deep threat type of guy. But I don't know, actually, because Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors are pretty good deep threats on their own.
When I'm looking at the plays as far as how many they played in the game, I think the offense had 59 plays. Brian Thomas played 57. Malik Neighbors played 55. Aaron Anderson played 20. Chris Hilton played 19. Kyron Lacey played 19. So that's kind of the receiver breakdown. But, going back to what we're talking about with all the success, like why we're talking about the defense to start the show, because Arkansas also went field goal, touchdown, field goal, touchdown, touchdown, and then interception at the end of the game when they were just trying to throw a prayer up in the air. So
yeah, I was like searching for the second pick when I saw it in the box score. I was like, where is it? And I was like scrolling. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Shout out to Alexander, give him stats.
So there was only 2 punts in the game, maybe 3.
Yeah, not a lot. Not a lot of work for the special teamers there. Something else is going to get lost in the sauce because the success of the air is so overwhelming. The emergence of Logan Diggs continues to be so nice for this team. 14 for 97 in this game. And you still have depth, right? I mean, Josh Williams had some big moments. He obviously had the huge 41-yard run.
His only carry, yeah.
He had a great catch as well where Scans gets out, get the ball, go, exactly what we want to see. Good pass blocking from Williams you're always going to get. But Logan Diggs is really, Jake, you probably speak this, I mean, not probably can. Speak this way better than I can. It looks like he's starting to really see it and kind of find the flow of like the offensive line and where his holes are going to open up. I thought he ran with some interesting patience this game.
Yeah, because he's got some juice to him, and sometimes when you have too much juice, you run into the back of your offensive lineman, as you know very, very well. But you're starting to see him, even with that same juice, really be patient. He led the running backs, obviously, in snaps. He had 37. John Emery had 14. Caleb Jackson had 4. Josh Williams only had 4 and touched the ball twice in those 4 attempts. And so it'd be interesting to see kind of what his role ends up being. I mean, his one carry was a 41-yarder. But Diggs right now, I mean, patience and then finding the crease. And then once he finds the crease, the most impressive thing is that acceleration he has to go from patient, and then just maximum speed. That's what makes him dangerous right now. He's running behind his pads. And he's giving you something right now that you desperately need. Like, you need that running back because you're a zone run team. That's what you are. You're not going to be incredibly diverse in the run game as far as the scheme. Well, he looks like T-Bob, the best zone runner right now because it's patience, hit the hole. And so he's giving you something. Now, I would still like to see him give you more in the pass game because that's where you're going to get into a little bit of trouble. Now he's in there in those plays, but again, still a little longer staying in protection than you would like. And it's getting better. I thought Josh Williams did a really nice job. Again, that one play, he was able to get out, scan, check down 7 yards.
Exactly.
That's what you need. So Logan Diggs has been a very good addition to the backfield and the breakdown of backs. It's rounding out. You're starting to see exactly where everyone's role is. It looks like Diggs, Emery, Williams, Jackson's kind of the pecking order right now.
So look, man, I mean, again, you can nitpick anything, right? And as the offense is the strength of this team, if LSU is going to do big things, they're going to have to be great. So it is completely smart and right to criticize when criticism is due, right? But I've always been a believer, you criticize criticism and you give credit when credit is due. Bad first quarter and a half. Love the response to come out over the next 2.5 quarters and dominate the game, take over the game, and most importantly, finish the game. Shout out Damian Ramos as well. I know it's an easy kick, but it's college, right? Can always go sketchy Good job, man. Continues to just be solid as hell for LSU in that regard.
I know we got to take a break real quick, but I do want to, in this first hour, we got to give some love to the big boys.
Yes, yeah. Let's do that
Coming
next.
back.
We'll do that next here on OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. You want value, okay? You want to turn around and get a new Toyota? You sell or trade that vehicle into All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge. Right now, you're going to get a great deal, y'all. The value's never been higher. I can't wait. I think I'm starting to check out the Sequoia, man. I had no idea they were this nice. We'll see if it's the route that I end up going. But the point is, working there with the people over there at All-Star, figure out exactly what you need, exactly what appeals to you, and at the best price, with the best selection, the best people. All-Star Toyota, BatonRouge.com.
Yeah, go to the website today, and you can do it all. You can buy new, you can lease. If you want to rent, it's right there on the homepage. If you're watching this on YouTube, Rent a Toyota. Click on that. It's going to be per-day rental prices, and everything's going to be available. That's the beauty of it. The full fleet, not just one, not just two. Everything is available to rent today. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com. All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. People are upset about the clock management at the end of the game. I'm going to have to go back and... Because that's not something that ever comes through on the actual All-22 game film, obviously. And I don't remember
Taylor feels like
anything-
he's ready to go.
No, I know what I'm saying. I don't remember anything live being like, what was the problem here?
It wasn't egregious, but I kind of had like a little head scratch moment as well at it. So at the end of the game to kick the field goal, it's 3rd and goal.
Yeah.
Kelly uses his last timeout, which is fine, with 11 seconds left.
Well, wasn't the play clock all the way down, though?
No, he stood there by the referee, let the play clock go down, and then called a timeout with 11 seconds left.
Yeah.
He would have ran the ball on 3rd down, called a timeout with 2 seconds left. Arkansas would not have gotten the ball to throw that Hail Mary at the end of the game, is what everybody's questioning. If he would have waited, called a timeout, like after the 3rd down play with like 2 seconds left, it would have been a walk-off field goal.
All right, so I think there's a few. Well, you go first, Jake. There's a few ways you can break this down.
No, you can break it down. I'll tell you this. Full disclosure. So I watched the All-22, and I went to the game. So right before we're about to line up, and LSU's about to kick the game-winning field goal, I'm at the game, and I've got the boys with me. We make a mad dash for the car. I'm talking about we ran from our seats all the way to the car. And Jackson had it on his phone, and we're watching it, and we sprinted to their car. Because, look, ain't trying to get caught in that traffic.
No, I feel you, bro.
Got to our car. He made it already. We're celebrating. We're on River Road and back home in 10 minutes.
Okay, not bad, dude.
Yeah. Now, if anybody has footage of that, and they're probably thinking, what in the hell is he doing?
So, look,
So I missed that in the game.
It's one of those things where it's like, it wasn't a bad decision, but there may have been a better one out there type of thing.
But then again, okay, so here may be the counter argument is that if you run the ball again there, you risk a fumble. And if you fumble, then you blow the game. You don't risk a fumble when you just throw it out the back of the end zone, take a couple more seconds off, and then line up for the field.
Well, that was the thing. He called the timeout before 3rd down.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Then he threw it out the end zone.
Yes, which took a couple seconds off. And he clearly wasn't trying to make the play. Like, they clearly weren't going for it. So I think he was maybe trying to choose the least risky path, which and then it becomes a conversation of what's more risk. Will your guy fumbling right there or like them getting the one play Hail Mary.
Again,
right?
I wasn't like, what the hell are you doing? But like,
I mean, I guess
people in the chat,
you could have kneeled it as well.
Yeah, like people in the chat, like you were asking what they were talking about. That was it.
Huh? I don't think that's that big of a deal.
No, it's not. But I mean, maybe it could have been done differently.
It could have been done differently. Yes, I agree with that. I'm just not sure whether or not I think it's if one's like obviously right versus the other. But it doesn't matter. LSU finds a way to win, and as Jake said, going into the break, you got to give some love to this offensive line. Jake, they're so good that I don't even have that much O-line tape to break down anymore because every single time they're just doing their job. The run blocking's great. The pass blocking's great. Now, there were some moments, the same like Landon Jackson actually had a couple nice wins against Will Campbell. And I was like, oh, okay, right? But they only stand out because it just happens just doesn't happen very often this year at all. And one guy I want to highlight because he was so good here. He was so great. And we never mentioned him. He's just been solid all year long, and that's Garrett Dellinger. When you do great as a tackle, you get love. If you do great as a guard, you get ignored. And Garrett Dellinger's just been damn good all year long. He was rooting guys out this game, controlling. Miles Frazier played very well also, which is great to see because a lot of people were trying to bench him a couple of weeks ago. He was excellent, but you know, Frazier's had his up and down this year. Dellinger's just been as solid as you come from the first snap.
Yeah, in the run game especially, I thought the guards, were road graders. I thought they did a really nice job. Pass protection, Dellinger was good. Frazier was okay. But in the run game, I thought both guards played incredibly well. And, yeah, you're right. People trying to replace Miles Frazier. I thought this was a great kind of bounce-back moment for him in conference against a pretty decent defensive line. Will Campbell, I thought, had another strong day. I thought the same thing for Emory Jones. Charles Turner at times got into some trouble
He gave up a sack
in this game. Decked his head a couple of different times, but the guard and the guard play was the best it's been in the tandem so far this year. And you're right, like Gary Dellinger is somebody that honestly, like, doesn't even get a mention.
No,
good, bad, or
we
indifferent
never
doesn't
talk about
get a mention, but he's been playing incredibly well. And it was a really good tape to go back and watch him in the run game, because if you're going to run as much zone as LSU is going to run, and that's just who they are, your guards are going to be crucial here. They really start everything in that zone run, because me as a running back, a lot of times I'm reading the guard. A lot of times I'm stretching it. I'm reading the guard's block, not the tackle's block, to be able to decide where I find my fit. And so the guards have to play well. They did in this game, and it's good confidence builder certainly for this unit. It's been together now what feels like for a very long time. And so these guards right now, especially Miles Frazier, if they continue to play like this, that bodes well for LSU, because a lot of people calling for Miles Frazier to get out of the lineup and put in Lance Hurd. Lance Hurd came in against Mississippi State. There was ups, there was downs. But I think this right now, this is the best unit moving forward that gives you the opportunity.
Yeah, Lance Hurd is still awesome, and his potential is still, arguably as high or higher than anybody on the team. But he did make mistakes against Mississippi State that Miles is not making. And so, it is that you have your best five out than you are now. And Lance still has a role to play as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a problem to have depth and people you feel good about. As we've talked about, the offensive line room as a whole is in a better position than it has been in, a decade, maybe even more.
Yeah, 24 of their runs in this game were zones, kind of to our point. They had a couple of man schemes. Actually, let's throw in another, because outside zone, not count that in the same concept. So 25 of their runs out of 28 were zone runs.
Yeah, I saw one time where a guard pulled.
Yeah, they had one counter. That's the one you're talking about, yeah.
What's going on here, dude? All right, when we get back on Off the Bench, let's close out hour number 1 and then move into Weekend Winners and the Saints in hour 2. Keep it locked.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. Jake, give him the number.
Well, where are you at in Louisiana? That's the
That's a
area
good point,
code,
yeah.
wherever you're at in Louisiana, followed by 888-8888. So North Louisiana, listen to us up on the Tiger, 318, certainly 225-504-985-337. I think I got them all. 504. Yeah, we know not forget about. I think I said that. I don't know. Look, just call 888-8888.
So I mentioned Malik Neighbors early in the show, right? The SEC is the leading pass catcher, 5 tuds, 130 yards a game. He's been incredible. Well, he's the latest on the Gordon McKernan Grubbin with G series. So you follow at Get Gordon on social media, on their YouTube channel, Instagram. You can see it as Gordon sits down with Malik and really gets into, what makes him tick, what has led him to this point. How is he having so much success? They've got a lot of these videos with your favorite athletes. So join the G team, 225-888-8888.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Some kind of hold on me, like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Scoocha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family, a front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to Six Rings Baseball.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. We'll recap LSU, Arkansas, Saints, Packers, and your full football weekend. Join us for Monday's AFR, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Jake, how we just spent 45 minutes talking about this game, and the takeaway that Chad can have is that the offense is bad. It boggles the mind. Champ says, I don't want to hear any BS about how well the offense is balanced, because if it's 50-50 game flow, screwed up because of that. Saying the offense kept, he said, run the effing ball when averaging 6.5 per tote. LSU offensive play calling allowed Arkansas to make it a track meet. He would go on to say, let's see here.
Are you not supposed to hit the deep
balls? I don't. So it's not even over yet.
Okay.
He goes on and say, T-Bob, you're effing smarter than that. Because I was like, wait, are you complaining about the offense? That's what we're just talking. He said, you're effing smarter. The offense was horrible and allowed Arkansas's offense to stay in the game. 6.5 yards per rush. You run the ball 18 times, control the clock. Okay, even the control the clock is dumb, because you got the ball with 5 minutes left on last possession and ended it. Like, what do you mean you did control the clock, you dummy? Like, what are we talking about, dude? If your takeaway is that the offense is bad, after everything we just read, or that the offensive play calling is bad, where you have the quarterback that has the highest quarterback rating in the entire conference, most touchdowns, most yards, no. Take a lap. Take 2. And the edge of getting a 5. Lap. Yeah, you're on the edge of a 5-minute timeout here. Yeah, exactly. Like Daniel Bastard. Because if the defense does bad, it's Jayden's fault. Logic. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what. Like, I'm not going to blame the offense when the defense allows KJ Jefferson to kick their ass on 3rd and 10 time and time again. Get out of here.
I'm looking at isn't Jayden Daniels the 5th leading passer in the country? He is not rhetorical. I mean,
he's like averaging like 320 per game. He's definitely up there.
I'm looking right now. Okay. He's 7th in total quarterback rating in the country. He's 5th in yards right now. Every major stats, yards per completion, top 10 in the country, number 9 actually. So
And look, and everybody,
and that's against not to cut you off. That's against 2 conference opponents in Florida State, like T-Bob said.
And again, some people, like somebody said, oh, you have to give a troll airtime. Well, the problem is, and Champ, look, to be fair, Champ does like to say absurd things a lot of times. The problem is, though, because he's pretty good at satire, a lot of times his absurdity are rooted in actual opinions that exist out there. And I still see enough of it out there about how this LSU offense is this or that when, I'm sorry, the numbers just don't back up whatever your claims are. So it was a great day for the offense. Not a great day for the defense. You know, I feel good about the Ole Miss game? The offense. You know, I feel bad about the Ole Miss game? The defense. Okay, like that. Like Alabama was well suited to shutting down Ole Miss. You don't feel well suited to shutting them down. This offense is going to have to carry you in Oxford on Saturday.
Yeah, the front seven defensively right now is playing football that can win you games. I do feel confident.
That's fair.
About that. The back end, though, man, in some of those plays, Arkansas left yards out there. I mean, Arkansas did an RPO basically on every single play that they had, and there was guys streaking over the middle of the field wide open. Like, I don't know why you're allowing yourself to bite on that RPO fake time and time again, knowing they're trying to hit it right behind you.
Yeah, I don't know. And we need to get you to do a like film deep dive on that eventually. Hour 2 next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Acatip of Baton Rouge, acatipbr.com, acatipbr.com. Remember, I told you my AC went out last Thursday night, basically, like late Thursday afternoon. So Acatip's out there first thing Friday. Ended up being a bit of a fix, fellas. Oh, man, I got to look at my text because they give you these great texts with, like, employee bios and who came out to your home. And I need to shout out who came out because he did such a good job. He was driving all over the place. Shout out Donald Pritchett, man, my dog.
Sorry, Bo.
Donald also loves woodworking.
I told you, it's
and
a
being
full
with
bio.
his 2 children, dude.
I mean, it is a full bio. They let you know exactly who's coming into your home.
I would buy a bench or a chair or a dining piece from Donald because the work was so quality. He ran all around town, finding the last part in town that we needed to get it fixed. Saved the weekend. Shout out Agatim, agatimbr.com. Scoocha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
deny valid claims, because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning, everybody. It is 8 a.m. on Monday, September 25th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 86. Coming up on OTB, we have a new edition of Weekend Winners coming up next, and Hold the Mayo joins the show at 9:15. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what's happening, yo? Welcome back. OTB, T-Bob, Jake, Mario, Taylor. Hanging out with you today. Let's dive in to some weekend winners.
That's how winning is done.
That's right. We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure. We've got too far.
I'm by winning.
Below 90?
I win here and I win there. Now what?
Are you doing what it takes to win a championship?
Wow, winning.
Well, then I guess there's only one thing left to do. What's that? Win the whole thing.
Nookie says, still trying to understand why I needed 11 iPhone alerts that Taylor Swift was at the Kansas City game. I'm afraid I made no major life decisions based on that important information. It is out of control, but...
Oh, man, it's funny.
But, I mean, you get why. Again, we mentioned a few weeks ago, Taylor Swift's like halfway through this tour, and it's already grossed well over $1 billion. I think it's at 1.4. It's already the highest grossing tour of all time. Like, there could not be a bigger deal. But yeah, weekend winner Travis Kelce. You know, it's official. Highest grossing pop star in human history, showing up in your suite, hanging with your mom.
Yeah.
You know, mom's got to love that.
Yeah. Shout out Donna.
Now he
Right?
has an
Donna
entire
Kelce?
army of Swifties supporting him for now. See where it goes.
That's actually a good point.
But here in the interim, here now, weekend winner Travis Kelce. Oh, and they beat the hell out of who did the Chiefs play yesterday? The Bears. Oh yeah, the Bears.
The Bears, yeah.
God, the Bears are so bad.
The Bears.
They're so bad. Has the team ever had 3 first picks in a row? Is that what the Bears on the edge of doing? Or did they pick Fields? They didn't pick Fields first. Never mind.
No, he was like
third.
12, 13,
Yeah, okay,
something like
never
that.
mind.
I think
Okay.
Wait, yeah, and they traded back in this last draft.
last
Well,
draft.
this
they had the
last
first
one they
pick.
had the one. I mean,
Right.
they're trying. They're gonna go for 2 in a row. Has anybody ever done that? I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, Cleveland.
Okay.
Yeah, feels like a
They
real
took,
Cleveland
was
thing.
it
always the
Miles? I
answer.
think it was Miles Garrett, Baker Mayfield back to back.
It's always the answer, Cleveland.
There's not going to be a bigger weekend winner. And Taylor, go ahead. If you don't have it loaded up, then you just don't know me very well at all. Andrew Beck, weekend winner. Anybody know who Andrew Beck is? Anybody?
Who are you?
Anybody? Andrew Beck is the fullback for the Houston Texans who returned a kickoff for a touchdown in their last contest against the Jags. Not like an onside kick where he just picked it up. No. He caught this thing at about, actually kind of muffed it, at about the 12, picks it up at the 15, makes 2 guys miss, a stiff arm there, kicker, you're not catching me.
Yeah.
Nope. And then he finishes it with a nice little shoulder. Oh, let's go.
He had triangle.
How about that? Fullback kickoff return for a touchdown. Andrew Beck, not only are you a weekend winner, you're a winner in life, sir, because you made fullbacks relevant for a full Sunday. I got tagged in this 97 times, and it makes my heart happy.
So I saw the headline. This is my first time seeing the play. I didn't realize the distance.
Yeah.
I assumed like a 60-yard squib return or like a 50-yard squib return. Okay, Beck.
That's an 85-yarder right there. You make a couple of people miss. You outrun the kicker. You hurdle the last guy trying to attempt.
I'd hurdle too.
And as I put on Twitter, for a moment, the world stopped.
Hell yeah, dude. Mario, what you got?
My weekend winner is Usher. He'll perform at the halftime of the next Super Bowl in Las Vegas. I think he's one of, honestly, the best performers there is when it comes to kind of, seeing him live. And I think he's going to put on at the Super Bowl. Shout out Usher.
You got to have a catalog to put on for the Super Bowl. I don't know how T-Bob feels about this. Y'all know those mixed CDs were flying back in the day for me with a little Usher Raymond, so I'll be all about it.
I just loved and Let It Burn when Usher just displayed his elemental shamanistic powers and he hits a little and then like the palm trees go up in flames behind him.
Yes.
It always looked like he was some sort of fire wizard to me.
I mean, he exploded around that time, like 03, 04, but he's kind of maintained his relevance. And like I said, I think I saw him live one time at Smoothie King Center. I think he's really good, like live performer.
He's an awesome performer. Maintained his relevance is a more complicated question. I think the Super Bowl loves safe, nostalgic plays at this point. They know there's a lot of value there, and Usher's kind of the latest in line with those choices. Except for, I guess Kendrick wasn't really. I mean, Kendrick's still as relevant.
Yeah, I think there's a balance there.
There's a balance.
I mean, Usher's got a
I'm hyped for Usher. I'm hyped for Usher.
He's got a Vegas. He's got a Vegas show. So I mean.
Yeah, but like, does Usher have any late hits like recently?
No, but like I'm genuinely excited to watch him perform. It's not like a
because when you do the Super Bowl, one, you got to have a huge catalog. You got to have songs that a lot of people know. You got to have hits. Yeah. You got to be able to have a crowd that remembers you because it was their day, and also songs that kind of stand up still that younger people know. So.
You're always gonna need an older audience, right? So so being able to connect with them helps. And actually, good point here, Murray in the chat. Go watch the Tiny Desk performance. He is relevant. He had the meme. Watch this. He's all over the internet recently. Taylor, what you got?
Yeah, my weekend winner, first off, it was going to be the Oregon Duck mascot, but he screwed it up, so I can't be him. You saw that?
Yeah, I did.
He came out dressed like Dion. He had the cowboy hat, the chain that said "Time's Up." It was a good troll.
Yeah.
But then he comes out and he tries to hit this clock, and his mascot head fell off. So it's like, if I could give him a weekend winner and loser, I would, because the outfit looked good, but he took it one step too far.
You can't be seen.
Well, he had to run away with his head.
It was like if he wouldn't have done that part,
to get the head.
if he would have just came out wearing the outfit, it would have been excellent. My weekend winner is going to go to the NFL because, guys, I found the next journeyman backup quarterback for the NFL.
Josh Dobbs.
No. The next one. Tennessee beat UTSA 45-14, but if you watched the game, you saw that UTSA scored 14 points right out of halftime. That's because they made a quarterback change to Owen McCown, the son of Josh McCown and nephew of his uncle Luke McCown. So the McCown brothers, they got another one coming up. Owen McCown, he went 18 of 20, 170 yards, 2 touchdowns coming out of halftime. The next great backup quarterback is at UTSA.
Josh is the quarterback coach for the Panthers now.
Well, he's got a son that's not bad either, 18 of 20.
He's got a jawline that just doesn't quit.
Yeah, I know. Looks like he could really just take anything.
Yeah, he just looks like a man.
Yeah.
Next weekend winner, of course, Tua and the Dolphins. I mean, are we kidding?
Weekend loser, Sean Payton.
Yeah, Sean Payton. And here's the deal with Payton. My relationship, like I said, my feelings with Payton are complicated. In that, obviously, there's a ton of love there because, like, he gives you the Saints' biggest heights of all time. And it's weird because when he left, he wasn't dishonest. He was like, I'm tired. I'm going to coach again. I'm just tired, right? And so we knew he was going to coach again. Still, it doesn't feel great when he ends up with the Broncos. But my point is, like, if you're going to talk that trash, right, about Hackett and everything else, you better be improved.
Yeah.
And you look even worse. I mean, factually, you have been worse. But Sunday, Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins score 70 points with 10 touchdowns, one shy of the NFL record, 726 total yards, just 9 shy of the NFL record. The first team ever with 5 rushing touchdowns, 5 passing touchdowns. First team to ever have 70 and 700 in the same game. First team to ever have a pair of teammates with 4 touchdowns and 140 scrimmage yards in the same game. They're now averaging over 40 points a game. And, well, A-Chain. You see now why LSU lost to A&M last year. Devon A-Chain went off. And they had they had a very cool play design where they set it up like a little kind of jet sweep end around. Not a jet sweep coming from behind, but like a little end around, and Tua does a no-look shovel pass up the middle of A.J. Mike McDaniel in his bag. That felt a little cringy. But he honestly is. It was masterful yesterday.
Yeah, they look a lot like the Saints when they went 7-9 those few years before Dennis Allen, pre-Dennis Allen, not going so well.
You're talking about the Broncos.
Yes, the Broncos do. He's working with Vance Joseph, and he's not having the time of his life.
I don't know that they would. Yeah, shout out. I know what you're saying there. If this Broncos team wins 7 wins.
Yeah, even though the 7-9 teams had Drew Brees to kind of drag them up by their bootstraps.
I'm still not convinced Russell Wilson's a real person.
Yeah, so for instance, Nathaniel Hackett last year, 4-11. They got outscored by 72 points in 15 games, about 5 points per game, right? Right now, Peyton's 0-3, having been outscored by 17 points a game. Now, this is kind of an outlier thing with this game, but still, it's really bad. Shout out to the Dolphins. Have got to feel great to be a Dolphins fan today. Tyreek Hill's unbelievable.
Look, I don't get a chance to say this very often, but weekend winner, Bush League Bolts.
Keenan Allen.
We almost always win, but we did win this time. Keenan Allen, 18 catches, I believe.
Yeah. Team record.
Yeah.
215.
I really needed him to score a touchdown for a couple of reasons. He threw a touchdown, but I really needed him to score a touchdown. But it's okay because the Bolts got the win. But Brandon Staley, look, I think you're a smart guy. I really do. But you don't have to try to be the smartest guy in the room every single time. Like, going for it, like on your own 25-yard line to try to put the game away and you don't get it, you almost blew it yet again. You're lucky that you got tipped around and it got intercepted there. Like, you probably should have lost the game.
Do you hate the decision or you hate the play call?
Both.
Okay.
But, like, that's not a position you need to go for it.
I would say just sneak it if you're going to go for it, though.
And, yes, I mean, you have a 9-foot-tall quarterback.
I still don't understand that.
I don't either. Not when you have that kind of quarterback. Again, like, I realized the offense on the other side, and I realized that Jets was really starting to get hot there at the end of the game. But, man, just punt the football. Don't try to be Lane Kiffin. Like, you can't do those things. And it almost cost you again. And you've done it. There's been about 5 habitual times now that you've done something like this.
This is insane from Champ of the Chat. Most Charger stat of all time. They're 479 all time. Justin Herbert is 27-27 as a starter.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Weekend winner, the Pontoon Parlay. Shout out Leilani Arminta and Haley Van Voorhees as well. Arminta kicked for Jackson State. I guess their place care got hurt. She's on the soccer team. They brought her in.
Yep.
She had a giant knee brace on her kicking leg. I was like, is she healthy? I don't know.
Voorhees out there playing like a position, though.
Yes. And so Haley Van Voorhees, first female non-kicker to appear in a CFB game at the NCAA NIAA level. She comes in at safety, gets a pressure for Division III Shenandoah. Really cool moment there.
Got the quarterback on the ground, too.
Yeah. Boys, you got anything?
Cool clip.
End of the Saints game stung. We're going to break it down later in the hour. But honestly, part of me is happy for Jordan Love. Like, he really sees the momentum there at the end.
Wait, what?
First start at Lambeau Field. I think he deserves a lot of credit.
I mean, you're not wrong, but, like, you kind of... It's kind of like a little bit of a cuckold thing that you just did, just like a tiny bit. It's like a tiny bit, like or like Stockholm syndrome, like something. Like, again, you're not wrong, but why are you feeling the desire to be so gracious to somebody that just caused you so much pain?
He sat the bench for 3 years. They went through all they went through with Aaron Rodgers. Like, I'm just kind of happy for the guy, and honestly, I'm kind of secure as a Saints supporter, broadcaster, whatever. They're still 2-1 and in pretty good shape. It's not like it's a fatal loss.
Look at the chat. Taylor, what do you got?
Yeah, I have a weekend loser, but before that, Jake, you'll love this.
Hold the mayo. All right.
Before my weekend loser, Jake, you'll love this. Here's a list of every NFL player to have 3 games with at least 15 catches. It's one guy, and it's Keenan Allen. Nobody else has ever done it.
What?
3 games with at least 15 catches. Keenan Allen, only guy in NFL history. Been criminally underrated his entire career.
And I've heard you say that for a long time. As long as I've known you, I've heard you say that. And you're right. And Keenan Allen's done it with, he's been there a long time. He was there in San Diego with Phillip. He's been there a long time, man. Keenan Allen is a stud. He had some injuries the last couple of years, but when fully healthy, he's one of the best in the game.
Oh, man.
So my weekend loser.
Mario, this take has turned on you bad.
All right.
I get it.
The Saints totally lost the game on their own.
This is a good take. Generate some heat, baby. Let's go. Ted, what are you saying?
No, the weekend losers are going to be Marcus Freeman for me. They only had 10 guys on the field on the 3rd and 4th and goal against Ohio State. And I get it in the press conference. He said we didn't have any timeouts left. We didn't want to run a guy on late to get a penalty.
None of it's,
But my thing is here, there's 3 seconds left. Do you care if it's 1st and goal from the 1 or 4th and goal from the 1?
Well,
there's 1 play left.
So it gets even worse though.
And the ball moves about.
Yeah, like does it matter? It's 1 play. It doesn't matter if it's 1st and goal or 4th and goal.
And Ohio State subbed. So he could have subbed.
Yeah, he could have subbed either way. And
I don't think
he
they
did
knew. I don't think they knew. I think he just tried to make him an excuse.
Because originally he said, well, in the last play of the game, it was 3rd and goal and 4th and goal. It was the last 2 plays of the game. Yeah. And if you go back and watch the tape, where does Ohio State run it? They run power to the left, right where the right defensive end's supposed to be.
And he still barely got it.
Weekend loser Marcus Freeman for sure.
It sucks because so much good erased by just an inexplicable
hell of a game.
Bad. Weekend loser, the Titans gained 94 yards while losing 27-3. Tannehill's done, right? Like the Titans it's time to hit the reset button. 0-3 now, that's a wrap. The Bears down 34-0 at half to the Chiefs. Anytime you ever hire a coach named Eberflus, you kind of get what you deserve. And then the state of Colorado, right? Because Prime and company run into the buzzsaw that is Bo Nix in Oregon. And then we saw what happened to the Broncos on Sunday. A very rough football weekend. And weekend winner Josh Dobbs, 7 years in the league, finally gets his first win as a starter and does it with an impressive double-digit victories over the Cowgirls.
Yeah, he did.
How's it feel, Taylor?
Look, we were sitting there on the couch, and my wife's like, it's 3rd and goal from like the 8. First off, they ran the ball inside the 10 like 3 times. You got to score twice to win that game. If they would have scored and passed the ball, you would have had 4.5 minutes left. Instead, they ran it down all the way to under 3 minutes. So terrible play calling there, but it's 3rd and goal from the 7. And my wife's like, what do you think's going to happen here? I'm like, Dak's throwing a pick 100%. And then he did. And I was like, he always does that with the game on the line, man. So it is what it is. I get it. Shout out to the
You're
offense.
happy for Dobbs, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
and,
so you're a cuckold too.
No,
we got 2 back
no,
there.
but I do want to give credit to their offense. Like as good as the Cowboys' defense has been, the Cardinals scored on their first 5 offensive possessions, which is really, really impressive.
It's just one of those. This is the NFL games, It's the classic this ain't college. The best team, who's the better team is so small. Compared to the
and to answer your question, no, I'm not happy for Josh Dobbs.
No.
I'm happy he got the win.
You already said it.
But
You already said
I wish it would have been against somebody else.
Nope, you already said it, dude. Come on, you two, look up whatever you need to look up back there, boys.
Yeah.
It's cool. Look,
y'all know.
We don't kink shame.
Y'all know how much I enjoy, sticking up for Kirk Thuggins. But I was so happy he threw an interception in that game yesterday.
The Jets need to try to trade for Kirk Cousins, probably. That'd be
That's such a first take. Like that's not realistic at all.
Well, because of his contract.
Are 0-3.
Yeah, because of his 0-3 last year of his contract. You have a generational receiver. It's actually not too crazy. Normally, if the contract was different And if they started different, I'd be right there with you.
The
but
Jets need a Hail Mary on this season to stay relevant and make the playoffs.
Make them over.
And then it's also something like they can't franchise tag Kirk at the end of the year. So they either need to decide they're going to re-sign him in the middle of the season or they let him walk at the end for nothing. So, yeah, like you got to do it.
So what's wrong with the
That's
take?
what I'm saying. It just feels way too simple. Like, look at it from Kirk Cousins' point of view. He has to uproot his whole life, move to a different city, maybe to just be a one-year
Mario,
rental
you think
in the
they
end.
give a damn about any person on that team not named Justin Jefferson? Any person on that team. And even him at some time will become the same person. Peyton Manning got cut in the NFL. Anything is possible.
For getting
They don't
hurt,
care about.
not even because of
They
play.
do not care about a single soul on these teams. No. Trust me when I say
maybe
that.
when it worked because Kirk's uprooting his life and all that, and like it'd be very hard on him. I just mean if I'm the Jets and I'm like, obviously Zach Wilson is not the guy. We should be a playoff team. We're gonna lose ground quickly in the East, and the Vikings are 0-3 now. Maybe the Vikings try to stick with it and get hot or something. And for the Vikings, like to your point, you do have to be very concerned because if you make that move, you're basically conceding the season. And if you're like O'Connell, like, do you want to do that? Are they going to stick with you if you do that? So it's a little sketchy.
Again, like O'Connell still doesn't have a say-so in it either.
That's true. That's true.
I mean,
well, I guess so. Then it comes down to GM job security.
yeah.
Like if the owner is cool with the GM punting on this season, that's realistic. If not, then no, you got to.
What if the Jets trade for Dak Prescott?
This just
Why would
now
they do
that
that?
sounds like a first. That
Yeah,
is
that's
first
a
take.
first take.
I'm just
That is
kidding,
first
guys.
take. That is you desperately trying to will Dak Prescott out of your life.
Yes.
Careful what you wish for, Taylor. Okay, because next thing you know, you end up with like
Quincy Carter.
Yeah, or like an over the hill Tannehill.
That's the first Cowboys quarterback that came to mind.
Let's just get Zion to the Knicks while we're at it.
One.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Hey, Quincy Carter made a Pro Bowl. Okay.
Did he?
Yeah. Show some respect, guys.
He also played for the Shreveport Bossier Battle Wings.
He did.
Yeah.
When we get back, more to be next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
This Pete Carmichael take in the chat is funny. All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com. Find your next Toyota. Camry, Sienna, Sequoia, Tundra, RAV4, Hybrid. Whatever it is, it's all there for you at All-Star Toyota. They got the best deals, the best price. They got new and Toyota certified used vehicle where you still get excellent things like warranty coverage that you can adjust to whatever level you want, so you have the peace of mind in that ownership. So whether you're looking to buy new, lease, rent, it's all there for you at All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.
And if you want to customize that vehicle, it's right there on the homepage. Click on New, go down to Build a Toyota. Remember, you can add and you can also take away, right? If you have a feature like, hey, I would never use that, I don't need that, well, you can take that away, but you can add any feature. And if you want like a murdered out Mini, I heard those are cool. Heard those are hot in the streets. T-Bob's got one. You should as well. AllStarToyotaBatonRouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $12,000 off MSRP or 2.9% for 72 months on all new 23 Ram 1500 trucks in stock. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents.
Join me for a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We'll hear from Brian Kelly reacting to LSU and Arkansas, Saints Packers recap, and Denton Day from SiriusXM on the weekend in college football. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back, OTB. Mara, that might be one of the heatest takes we've ever had on this show, just in terms of like driving engagement. Not only did Chad freak out, but even our guy Chuck P, the legend, literally burst up in here. And Mario initially thought it was like to maybe do something for like production or work.
I actually thought he was going to dap him up. He was punching him.
And he came in here just to punch him in the arm for the Jordan Love take.
I mean, dude, I'm sick from a Saints standpoint, but objectively, like, it was a really good close to the game. Like,
I love it,
dude deserves a lot of credit.
I love it. You know who doesn't deserve any credit? The New Orleans Saints offensive line. And you know what sucks about yesterday, Jake, is it just all started so well, didn't it? You had Jordan Love and that Packers offense with that goofy-ass 4th and 2 attempt where everybody's slipping and sliding, bad passing. Should have worked. It was still open somehow. and they sail it. I mean, it was hilarious. You have a nice drive down the field, immediately following that ends in a touchdown to Jimmy Graham.
Yep.
And it all felt so good at that moment, dude. I mean, how appropriate in so many ways. Where have the Saints struggled this year? The red zone, okay? Yep. Bring in the red zone expert. This is like the fixer, right? This is like this is hiring someone. This is like taking. He has a very specific set of skills. Jimmy Graham is the red zone. I also love. I think I don't remember off the top of my head if the announcer said he scored 3 touchdowns. I think it was 3 touchdowns in Lambeau as a Packer.
Yeah.
And then he comes and gets 1 right here. So at that point, you go up 7-0 with the Jimmy Graham touchdown, off of a turnover. Then just a little bit later, you return a punt for a touchdown, just a dominant rocket shot read by Rashid Shaheed. And the continued value of having Shaheed is unreal. Unreal. He's such a playmaker in so many different ways. Next thing you know, you're up 17-0. The Packers are getting 1 million penalties, Jake. You're looking strong, like Achilles. Only problem is you have that very obvious Achilles heel. And that's when the offensive line said, "What's up?" And the Packers saw the glowing weak spot on the boss. They took advantage, and they ruined your day. They hurt their car, took over the game, and next thing you know, you blow a 17-0 4th fourth quarter lead. And with Jake, with this defense,
it should never happen.
If you get a special teams touchdown,
should never lose.
If you lose the game, we should have a trial on Monday, and someone should have to do some sort of public recrimination, some sort of public punishment served.
I agree with you. There's no realm that it's okay that the Saints lost this game. It's not. When you have a special teams touchdown like T-Bob's talking about, that is a dagger to any team in the NFL. They don't happen. In college, they happen more often. They never happen in the NFL. When you get that and you have that kind of defense playing behind you, you should never lose a game. And there's a couple of things we could point to on the offense. My main thing, though, because the pass protection wasn't elite by any means, but it was better. I do think it was better. You give up 4 sacks. So I think one of those at least was on the quarterback. But when I say the run blocking portion of what the Saints are trying to get done is one of the most poor things I've seen in the last 5 years in the NFL, I don't know that it's fixable. I truly don't. Like when you look like Trevor Penning right now, struggling mightily in run blocking. Like I know the pass protection, T-Bob, is always going to jump off the page and be the thing that people kind of point to, but Hurst was bad. Pete was bad. McCoy was bad in run and pass blocking. He was not great. I mean,
Ruiz was getting worked this game earlier. I don't know what he's graded out at, but there were multiple times where I felt like Cesar Ruiz, it was jumping off the screen at how badly the D-tackle was beating him.
And Landon Young, God bless him. No-hitter a couple of different times on an edge rusher. 26% pass grade shows up on tape. But the run blocking, that's concerning. You can't run the football right now. And everybody's like, AK's coming back. I don't think it matters. Not with this offensive line. I don't think it matters who's playing running back. You've tried a couple of different people. There's nothing there. Like, as a running back, I don't know where to tell you to go. Yeah. Like, even the yards that they made, a lot of it was on their own.
Oh, was that Landon Young then at right guard?
Right tackle.
That's right tackle. Who played? Hold me. I said Ruiz didn't play. Who was the right guard? I'm sorry. I'm guilty of
Ruiz played 18 snaps.
I'm guilty of just saying it was Ruiz. But right guard.
Well, yeah, Pete and Hurst played guard because after Ruiz went down, that's I think so.
Pete came in.
Did Pete slide over to right guard?
I believe so. And Hurst. It was
talking about was Ruiz and it wasn't Pete.
But
anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, because Ruiz actually, while he was in there, did okay. Landon Young came in, at right tackle at one point. It was bad all over the place. Listen to some of these run grades, and I was looking it up as I was talking there because it felt bad, and it was bad. Trevor Penning, 39% run blocking. Ramczyk, 51% run blocking. Pete, 47%. Hurst, 51%. Landon Young, 51%. Now, McCoy was 63%. That was your highest graded run blocker for the New Orleans Saints, 63%. And then
center also the easiest place to run block.
Well, in pass protection, Landon Young, 26%. Eric McCoy, 34%. This is an offensive line that you've got first rounder, second rounder, it's just all over the board. You have so much draft capital into this offensive line, and they are playing poorly. As a running back, I don't know where you're supposed to go, T-Bob.
Yeah.
Have no idea.
Well, so that's the depressing part is, and to your point, Jake, coming into this game, Derek Carr had been sacked 11 times. Through 2.5 games, got sacked 11 times. I think round number 11 is when he gets hurt. But here's a great line from Underhill that underlines what you were just saying. This comes from New Orleans on Football. Furthermore, when a team spends 3 first-round picks and a second-rounder on 4 of the 5 starters on the line and has another former first-round pick on the bench, being on pace to allow your starter to be sacked 68 times is simply unacceptable. It's borderline outrageous. And, the worst part is, to me, boys, like you said, Jake, how does it get better? Because here's what Eric McCoy had to say after the game. Quote, "I honestly don't have an answer. I know we haven't played good enough. It's not like it's just one person. Each one of us has had a turn at getting beat. That's the hard part about it. I really don't have an answer. We're practicing our butts off. We're preparing our butts off. We just have to be better." That's a terrifying quote if you're a New Orleans
from a player that has had better.
It's been really good. Yeah.
Ramczyk's had better in his past. I think you could argue every player up front. Now, Andrews Pete, I mean, it's been a mixed bag to say the least, and you were out Foster Moreau this game, and so that's a portion of your run blocking there. The other 3 tight ends you have are never going to be confused for a yackle. No, I mean, they're not in a yackle like a Y that's basically a tackle. Look up Ben Hartsock if you don't know what I'm talking about. But the quarterback play can't go up until the running backs are able to go out there and be successful.
Yeah.
And again, Alvin Kamara helps, but even Alvin Kamara and the skill set that he has, and we saw it last year with Alvin Kamara, running behind this offensive line right now, you're not going to be successful the way that you need to be successful to set up things in the passing game, to set up play action, to get people to come up towards the line of scrimmage because they're so terrified that you're going to run the football. Right now, if I played the Saints, I would almost dare them to run. I would get my front 4 to line up and say, hey, y'all stop the run. Everybody else worry about the pass.
Yeah.
That's right now, that's where defensive coordinators can live. Hey, we'll stop. Hey, run. We're good. Hey, Mike linebacker, 4 down lineman. We'll stop it there. Everybody else in coverage.
It's it's awful. And what sucks, Jake, is with Derek Carr, you have a veteran enough and savvy enough quarterback where he can overcome a lot of that enough to maybe win. Unfortunately, I don't think Jameis is that guy. And you know I love Jameis, and you know I wanted nothing more than for Jameis to win that game. Damn you, Blake Groupie, we'll get to it. But that I just don't see Jameis having a ton of success behind an offensive line. They can't set him up for success. Like Derek Carr has been able to find ways to win in the margins. Maybe Jameis can do it next week. I don't know. He is a quality backup. Like you feel as good about him as any backup in the NFL entering the game. But I don't think he's as good as Derek Carr. So now the offensive line has hurt you in the most direct way it can. Your starting quarterback's hurt. Out 3 to 4 weeks. AC
sprain is much better than what I thought it was when he went down. When he went down and really wasn't moving a whole lot, you're thinking.
I thought it was like broken collarbone.
Yeah, it was exactly where my mind went. Look, AC sprains suck. I mean, you've had them. I know T. I've had them.
I don't think I've ever had one.
Oh, you never? Oh my God! It's one of those deals. Like if you don't play quarterback, you can play through it. You just wear these pads, and every time you hit somebody, you're thinking about life decisions. Huh. But quarterback, you can't go out there and do it. But it's much better than I thought it was going to be. But now, hey, it's on Jameis. Now you have a backup that makes the money that he makes because you feel like he can come in and give you an opportunity. Gardner Minshew came in for the Colts. You pay him that money because of what he did yesterday. He came in, he beat the Ravens. Like that's why Jameis is your backup quarterback.
True.
That's why you kept him. And Jake Haener, and it's a whole different situation, but he wasn't your main backup because, okay, look, if you have to have somebody go in, you want to have somebody that started as many games as Jameis has. But look, again, it doesn't matter who's in there right now, a quarterback. If they don't get better up front, T-Bob, and when you look at some of the defensive lines that play in this division, the teams might not be elite, but the defensive fronts are really good.
Yeah.
And you're going to have issues all season long.
Yeah. So, Jake, I guess you could say that Zach Morris gave him an AC sprainer. Go to break. We'll be back. More OTB next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on select new 23 Ford F-150 trucks. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
Scoocha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. We'll recap LSU, Arkansas, Saints, Packers, and your full football weekend. Join us for Monday's AFR, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space. And when you're out there without care, yeah, I was out of touch.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back. Talking Saints. You did LSU Hour 1, and Saints here Hour 2. This is going to be a quick segment here because we went so long in the first two. Imagine that. Look, so I think, and it's weird because I can never watch, there's going to be about half the season this year, I'm not going to be able to watch Saints game live, right? And it bums me out because I love tweeting about live sports. But the Pink Pandas play soccer at 1 p.m. on Sundays.
How we doing?
God, bro. 9-9 tie yesterday.
Oh.
I was so close
Wow.
to my first dub, dude. I could sniff it. I could taste it. We were up 9-7. You know, the entire game, suddenly it's 9-8. I'm yelling at the ref to blow the whistle. I mean, we've been out here 45 minutes, 50 minutes. I'm like looking at the clock, and sure enough, they sneak one in to make it 9-9 at the end.
Oh, you're like the European soccer coach that has his arms folded right there, and he's
furious.
looking at his watch, and he's
furious. I think Bull might have even dropped like, hey, call it. I get like in the middle of it.
Hey, we got a point.
It's my first ever non-loss.
We got a point.
So that's a step in the
draw
right direction.
is a point.
Yeah. Anyway, so the point is, like, I don't get the live. I come back and I watch the game recorded later. Skip commercials, which I enjoy. But the only thing I tweeted yesterday was about Blake Grupe, and I think some people, rightfully so, point out like, well, that's not why you lost the game. And I agree. Like, why you lost the game is everything we just talked about, the offensive line, everything else, right? But when the big fear about choosing Grupe over Lutz was the clutch kicking, and then Blake Grupe gets his first real opportunity to make a clutch kick. Remember, the kicks to either tie or take the lead in fourth quarter overtime under 2 minutes. Lutz was 8 of 9 in those kicks in New Orleans, with his only miss being a 60-yarder his rookie year. And Grupe has how long was it, boys?
46
yards.
46.
46, yeah. And it wasn't even close.
No.
I mean, he pulled it at the end. It's not like he totally shanked it.
He pushed it. Yeah.
In the NFL, that's a
yes.
big
I mean,
miss.
by NFL standards, it did not appear to be close to me. And I don't know. Am I just being negative, or did y'all kind of feel like you could feel it when he was lining up?
Oh, a little bit. I mean, it was concerning that the game even got to that point. So not to, dispel what you're saying, not to make excuses, but yeah, you kind of felt it coming on.
You could feel it, and honestly, if you were listening to the Saints broadcast, like they felt it too. So I was on my way to the gym, and like as I was pulling up in the parking lot, that kick was happening. So I was listening to it on the radio, and they were like, "All right, young Blake Grupe, here he goes. Can he hit it again?" And then like it was just an awkward silence, and he kicked it, and they were like, he pulled it right. And like they knew. It's like they knew before it was going to happen. Like it wasn't like.
Yeah,
like you could tell
I was at
anytime
soccer
the NFL
field.
kick,
I didn't see it, but all the dads.
Yeah.
I was watching the soccer. All the dads were.
And anytime you
collectively.
can see an NFL kick off the foot that it's not going in, that's it's a bit bad. And off the foot, you could it was just immediately push. So. And look, I get it. Lutz missed a big kick and extra point to cost the Broncos week 1. So this is not. It's just that this isn't even about what Lutz has done in Denver, though. This is about everything we talked about in the preseason, right? When you made the choice for Grupe, the big risk to Dennis Allen was going to be the clutch kicking element in all of this in a year in which he desperately needed wins, and maybe he still lose that game. I mean, Jordan Love in the offensive role at that point, right? But you didn't even give yourself a chance to win. You went ahead and ended it right there. So,
God, it just feels like the Saints just controlled the narrative of the game and just had it. And with, yes, the weaknesses that the Saints have, but the strengths that they have feel like a team that can close that kind of game out, if that makes sense. Like with a strong defense, strong special teams, you have a lead. Okay, it hasn't been great offensively, but we can lean on this. But the offense just did not give the help that even that defense, a top 5 defense, and I feel safe saying that.
Yeah.
Top 5 defense in the NFL, it doesn't matter when you're not getting help.
You got to be a little frustrated if your defense, you don't give up 20 points again and you lose the game. And I know it's their fault. I mean, it's fourth quarter. You can't give it. But, like, it's the NFL. Offenses are going to find a way to score eventually. And the DA era of offensive football remains really badly, just from, like, an objective scoring standpoint. It's been awful. And when you have a bad line, I don't know how you fix it. We'll see. More OTB, closing hour 2 next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Officially, it's a fridge full of beer. Unofficially, it's free AC. Coors Light, the official beer of everything unofficial.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scoocha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
Pro, professional grade brakes from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Get the one and done you want for your dog's monthly protection. New NexGard Plus, a Foxalon or Moxidectin and Pyrantel chewable tablets. Protects against fleas, ticks, heartworm disease, roundworms, and hookworms. All in one delicious beef-flavored soft chew. Use with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. Dogs should be tested for existing heartworm infection prior to starting a preventive. Ask your vet about new NexGard Plus chews.
Join me for a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We'll hear from Brian Kelly reacting to LSU and Arkansas Saints Packers recap, and Denton Day from SiriusXM on the weekend in college football. Hunt Palmer Show 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back, OTB. Got a few minutes here. Then hour 3, we'll kick off. We'll look at all of college football, and then we'll get to spread lines with our guy Hold the Mayo at 9:15. This is annoying, this Saints game, because it is what it is, but you got to try to flush it and move on. You're 2-1, which is still good. Yes, is it incredibly frustrating because you should be 3-0? Yeah, absolutely. And but you know, what did Kirby say? Win the moment, one snap and clear. You got to let this one go and try to find a way to have success next week, and try to find a way for this offensive line to get it fixed and help out Jameis next week. I'm so happy to see our boy back, though, dude. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It's where it all finally happens. James had a ball out next week. AK's back, dog. Okay. We good. We Gucci, man.
Against his old team.
Did you think anything about Kendre yesterday, Jay?
That was okay. I thought he did okay.
A couple nice runs.
Certainly for his first game. I mean, have that many carries. Thought he had some flashes. Had a screen pass that looked like it was set up, and Carr had to kind of throw it over the top of the defender. So once he caught it, the defender had already beat Penning there, and I was like, man, gosh, I would have liked to seen him go with a little head of steam there, and it looked like they had it set up perfectly. But I thought overall, pretty good debut.
Yeah.
But still, when you're running behind that run blocking, you're not going to have a lot of success.
That's fair. That's fair. Who do the Saints have next?
Tampa on Sunday.
Tampa, and then they have 2 road games at New England and at Houston.
What did Tampa do yesterday?
They play tonight.
They play tonight. They're one of the 2 Monday night games. They play the Eagles tonight, so big
So
test.
we're doing that double Monday night thing?
So it's the early one is Bucks, Eagles, and then Rams, Bengals is like the 8 o'clock game.
Yeah.
Or 7 o'clock our time, I guess. I don't like it either.
Just don't like it, man. I like everybody being in the same bar. Why are they split? And again, I bet you the money gained in being able to sell inventory for 2 games, like, outstrips whatever they're losing viewership-wise by cannibalizing one another. But it does take away a bit of the monoculture aspect that I love about a primetime game, where you know what everybody's watching. Everybody's in the bar. I always think of Twitter as like a giant bar. Like, everybody's in the bar together hanging out. Now it's like, if you don't tweet what game you're talking about, you're kind of like, oh, which is it? Was it this? That?
Yeah, I mean, that here. Yeah, so I can't believe they called that a fumble. Which game are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, I didn't see a fumble. Oh, it's in the other one.
Just like Nick Chubb's injury, I remember, like, oh my gosh, don't watch the Chubb. I was like, oh, thank gosh I wasn't watching that game. I was watching the Saints game, and I was like, I'm going to stay away from seeing that. And unfortunately, I did not.
Is it true it's just an MCL?
Yeah, just tore his MCL. No other ligament damage, no meniscus, no nothing like that. I know.
I still haven't seen it because I hate that stuff. But just like from what everybody says, it seems like that's a bit
I thought
of a
he tore
miracle.
everything in there when I first saw it.
Shout out. Funny joke somewhere, probably. I can't find it.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Patient Plus Urgent Care, Patient Plus UC.com. And guys, I just told you about the incredible new deal going down at Patient Plus. And look, I already love going to Patient Plus for life's unexpected moments. I always have. The facilities are incredible. You have the digital profile system where you just a couple taps on the iPad when you walk in, you're signed in, you're good to go. You can schedule online, walk-ins always welcome, all of this stuff, right? Well, right now, for $20 a month, you get a Patient Plus membership. And you may be saying, oh, Tivo, I already pay so much per month. Okay, well, you can buy the full year. But Tivo, why don't I? Okay, look, you go twice, you're already coming out ahead. Also, when you buy the full year, you get additional 10% off. If you have a big family, it gets cheaper the more people that you put on there as well. And you get, this is the important part, guys, you get unlimited visits, okay? Unlimited visits. Think about that. You go twice, you're already ahead, and you get unlimited visits for you, your family, steroid shots, cold, flu, anything. It's all there at Patient Plus Surgery.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up and down on my last dime. Come on, in Baton Rouge. I'm ready, what you put me on through. Gotta send my love down to
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on select new 23 Ford F-150 trucks. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scoocha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Good morning, everybody. It is 9 a.m. on Monday, September 25th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 86. Coming up on OTBOT, Holden Mayo joins the show at 9:15. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I gotta come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, Ted, welcome back. OTB, T-Bob, Jake, Mark, Taylor, hanging out with you today. Hope you're having a great day. Covered LSU, hour number 1. Did weekend winners in the Saints in hour number 2. Share with your friends. Thank you for hitting the like button, y'all. Hell yeah, 100 likes. Love to see it. And now, in hour 3, I think we'll kick off with a little CFB roundup and then get the Hold the Mayo next. And then maybe revisit CFB after that. This was a great weekend of college football. Very good gambling weekend this weekend, y'all. Very off on LSU covering the spread. Again, the fly in the ointment. I love saying that for some reason last 3 days. Can't stop it. But the fly in the ointment remained KJ Jefferson. I was guilty of disrespecting him and the Arkansas offensive line. Even though the D-line had some good moments, certainly, and it was more about KJ, the offensive line still performed better than I thought they would. So congratulations to Arkansas. But on the other part, a lot of these reads end up coming out correct. How about in the early slate, Jake, a little FSU Clemson? Clemson had Florida State on the ropes. They were up 7. Florida State's knees were wobbling. Clemson was starting to run the ball. And you know what reared its ugly head? Bad running back pass protection. As the running back doesn't do a scan. Safety that should have been accounted for was not. Next thing you know, Klubnik, who played better than I've ever seen him play. Klubnik gets lit up, fumble, and the same player. Oh, who was it? What was his name? Was it Lovett? No, I don't want to give stolen valor because the player who got the sack for his fumble also ended up with the ball and got the scoop and score touchdown. As Booker McFarland calls the Holy Trinity. And just like that, a massive counterpunch landed by Florida State, and they end up finding a way to win that game and now have the best pair of wins in the entire country.
They probably so. Yeah, they probably do. And it feels like Clemson lost this game, not Florida State won this game.
I could
like
go
if you're
either
laying
way.
it out.
I could debate that.
Well, I mean, if you watched it,
I did.
Like in real time, like you didn't think Clemson had the momentum for a majority of the game and had it and felt like they had everything that they wanted there. And they're like even like setting up for the field goal there at the end, it's like they have played this game I think personally better than Florida State. Now, Florida State went out there and ultimately won it, but Florida State didn't take their first lead until what? Overtime, right?
Yes, I think that I think I would say it like this. I think that first off, Cade Klubnik was tough as hell. He played better than I've ever seen him play before. And absolutely, they had, like I said, I thought Clemson was about to land the knockout blow. Death Valley was alive. Florida State was staring into the mouth of that dragon. Like, I did think it was over. I guess what I'm getting at Florida State, I just don't want to discount their ability to make timely plays because they have got to be better on a down-to-down basis. They're really bad on first and second down, right? But Jordan Travis did an excellent job of, okay, when we had, and the whole team did, when we have to have something, find a way. There's a 4th and 1 early on that they got, the 4th down later in the game as well. The Keon Coleman touchdown, obviously in overtime, the forced fumble, like so. I agree with you. I could see what you're saying. On the whole, maybe Clemson did play better, but Florida State, I'm just giving them credit for they did snatch these big moments. They created these big moments to win.
Yeah, I guess this is more you had to feel disappointed if you're Clemson. It's kind of what I'm saying, like because you had your back against the wall. You had to win this game to stay in the conversation. Now you're firmly out.
Yeah,
you're not just firmly out of the CFP conversation. I feel like you're almost. No, I do feel like not almost. You're out of the ACC conversation.
Yeah,
you got 2 ACC losses.
Yeah,
like you're 2-2, and both your losses are in the ACC. And when you look at the other teams surrounding you in the conference, like you're not going to make that ground up. I mean, because now 2 teams have the tiebreaker over you, and so, man, Clemson, it's going to be some interesting times for that football team. Now, for Florida State, you've got a bad Virginia Tech team. You've got a much improved Syracuse team, but you still feel really good about the Noles in that one. Then you got Duke. Now, Duke's at home, and so that's a good thing for you. And then you go at Wake, at Pitt, and Miami. So you only have a couple of games left that you're not going to be double-digit favorites.
Yeah, true.
Like against Duke, you'll probably be a touchdown favorite. Against Miami, we'll see how they go. And against Florida there at the end of the year, we'll see how that goes. But right now, like we said it, if Florida State got past week 1 and week 4, they would have a real opportunity to go undefeated. And now they've done that. And so Florida State, look, they could have a Boston College performance. And if you have one of those against Duke, against Miami, against Florida, you'll lose that game. But also, like, did they get that out of their system? They were up big in that game and let Boston College
they just played around.
come back. It was a weird kind of ending to that game. And so Florida State right now is set up better than any team to be inserted into the CFP right now.
And like you said, probably not going to have to worry about a Clemson rematch. You know?
No.
Like
no.
in the ACC
Might be a Duke
championship.
rematch.
Yeah. Which is not easy either. But, you know, like you said, you saw the potential of what Clemson could be when they were at their best this weekend.
Clemson still has to play. Sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Clemson still has to go to the Carrier Dome, which I don't even know if it's called that anymore, but it's always going to be the Carrier Dome. Remember that they never play well there. Like they just don't. That's a place where they do not play well. They got to go to Miami. They have Notre Dame. They have North Carolina, and they have to go to South Carolina.
Yikes.
So this still could be a long season for the Clemson Tigers.
How about Jonathan White's the kicker for Clemson, guys? A story that was incredible and all was joyful and all that was right about college football, and then just ends in depressing heartbreak. If you don't know, Jonathan White has been out he was a former kicker for Clemson who'd been out in the game for over a year. He's a grad student. He's getting ready to start a job in New York. He gets the call from Dabo. Their big recruit kickers suck, and he says, hey, you're going to put on the cleats one more time. He comes in the practice facility, kicks ass, gets the job. Tells his boss like, oh, well, yeah, you got to go do that, and I'm coming to the game. And they show his family the first kick. They're so nervous. He makes it. His mom starts crying. This will go up 3-0.
Yeah.
His mom starts crying. Everything's awesome. Everything's good in the world. And then he has the opportunity at the end to make Florida, to potentially win the game for Clemson. Similar to a groupie situation. Florida State would have got the ball. But
you felt really good about
easy kick, 30 yards, and he just pushed it.
Well, so I didn't hear on the broadcast them tell the story like until the second kick was coming up because I tuned in late, and they're telling the story, and I'm thinking in the back of my mind, I'm like, this kid's gonna miss this kick because they were hyping him up, and then like his mom's standing up and he kicks it. She's like, well, I guess I'll sit down, and then she's like, sat down. I was like, I felt so bad.
They showed his family way too much. Like every time he was lining up, we get it. They're at the game.
No, but I mean, come on. But if you're directing,
any good director is going to go to that.
Yeah, if you're directing a live piece of drama, that is the drama. Like you need to show the family. Like his story is insane. And it was so joyful when you showed the family the first kick, and they're all crying and celebrating. But it was awkward that second time.
Yeah.
It felt so sad, dude. But that's what you're there for. If you're telling human, you're trying to direct live, unscripted drama, those are the angles that you have to lean into. And boys, how apropos that it's a transfer receiver that puts the dagger in Dabo's heart. You know what I'm saying?
Coleman.
Just in terms of showing you a direct lesson on why ignoring the advantage, because Clemson could kill it in the portal.
Yes.
Kill it.
Yes.
But they don't want to, and then they get immediately burned by it.
Yeah. So when we're talking about Clemson being done, you're like, well, they only have 2 losses in the ACC, but you have to remember, like, there's teams around them that have improved because they're doing the things that Clemson is not. One of those teams is Louisville. Louisville right now is 4-0. They are 2-0 in the ACC. That Boston College team that Florida State beat by 2, Louisville beat 56-28 this week. Jeff Brom, remember, if they could have had their pick of college football coaches, right, he would have been in their top 3.
Yeah.
He's coming back home. He played quarterback there. Brian Brom, his brother, right, he played quarterback there. He's the offensive coordinator. It's a perfect fit for them. They won 8 games a year ago, which everybody, including myself, kind of forgets, and they were supposed to be terrible. Well, their coach leaves, goes to Cincinnati. They get their guy. I mean, and right now, they look like they're in a good spot. So you have Louisville,
Brian Brom was really good last year at Purdue. That was him at Purdue, right? Wasn't he?
He was the OC.
Are you confused?
Brom was.
Or no, whatever. Jeff Brom.
Jeff was the head coach, but Brian Brom was the OC.
Yes, but I'm saying, but my point is, so like Louisville's already a bit better than we thought last year, and the Brom Bros were really good in West Lafayette last year.
Yes, for sure. And so now you have Florida State, who's undefeated. You have Louisville, who's undefeated. You have Duke, who's undefeated. You have North Carolina, who's undefeated. You have Miami, who's undefeated. You also have Syracuse, who's undefeated. That's 6 teams in the ACC right now that are undefeated.
Okay, weekend winner real quick, and then we'll go to Mayo, and we'll come back, keep talking college football. Boys, our guy Max Johnson.
Yeah.
How about it, dude? Came in, and on a day when the A&M offense was looking pathetic, I mean, dude, Max was dealing, dominating, and really Big Bad Brad deserves a weekend winner because he got to watch his elder son throw a touchdown to his younger son in a big-time SEC game at home. That has to be an all-time good feeling.
Well, considering like he left LSU where he was the starter, had a solid season, and then just Christian bailed, and you're like, wait, what's going on here? And you go to a place that had 2 really good quarterbacks already, one older guy, one younger guy, and then he was on the bench. And Conor Wegman and his team, make no mistake about it.
I wonder if it is now.
No, it is. I mean, he had an injury. Otherwise, he wouldn't have.
No, I know. I guess I just.
Wegman's been playing really good.
He had been playing really good. I just heard that during camp there was a legitimate quarterback competition.
I mean, Max Johnson was a starter at LSU again and had a very solid season. I mean, he's an SEC starter. That's what made it so head-scratching, him deciding to go to Texas A&M.
But, yeah, he comes off the bench, right? So they're showing his stats, and 8-6 is starter Max, but I don't think there's many backup quarterbacks in the SEC with a 33-7 touchdown to pick ratio.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Not in the league,
kind of insane. And yeah, so shout out Max Johnson. Auburn, bro. Auburn's going to be fine in the future under Hugh Freeze. They just don't have a quarterback.
They're all bad.
Yeah, they're bad.
Bad.
They're bad. They are bad. And what if Wigman can't go next week and Max balls out again? What do you think? Does it become a little drama around? All right.
It's one of those good things for Texas A&M.
It's not a bad problem to have.
If you have 2 quarterbacks. And again, I mean, I guess it's always been a positive.
What? Taylor is like the Saints, okay? Get out of here. Who's your backup quarterback?
Cooper Rush, man. He went 5-1 last year as a starter.
Yeah, Cooper Rush was actually pretty fun last year.
A&M's got Arkansas next week. 11 a.m., but at home. Then they got Alabama, at Tennessee, South Carolina. Okay. All right. Let's see what you got, Aggies.
When we get back, hold the mayo with some spread lines.
OTB, OT.
K2ZBlinds.com. That's where you want to go for your K to Z window coverings, whether you're looking for blind, shuttered, shades, drapery. Call 225-791-1220. That's 1220. Free installation when you work with K2Z. Free estimates as well as they come out and look at your home, figure out exactly what needs to be done to get your windows where they want to be. And remember, if it's like a really big job, you're like, I don't want to pay for this all at once. Then we're going to work with you to find the financing option that does work, okay? So get those custom window coverings that wow by going to KTOZblinds.com.
Yeah, just like I've been telling you over the last couple of weeks, like everything T-Bob said, obviously they can help you in the interior of your home, exterior as well. They're coming out and they've already done all the measuring, but now I know exactly what's going to be taking place at my house. So many different colors to choose from. Had no idea they had that many options. Go to the website today, K2ZBlinds.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It was a humid day. Barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance.
Matt Moscona inviting to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. We'll recap LSU, Arkansas, Saints, Packers, and your full football weekend. Join us for Monday's AFR, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
OTB, OT, with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Oh, welcome back. It's Monday. It's 9:15, which means it's time to check in with some spread lines. Our guy, Hold the Mayo. The new studio just looks absolutely fantastic the more I look at it, the more drawn in I am. Whoever the artist is, Dev, just absolutely nailed it, man. The vibes are incredible. It really is beautiful. I haven't gotten to watch yet. I meant to do it before the show, and I spaced. I cannot wait to watch the montage of callers from last night or yesterday afternoon. How'd it go? How'd the post-game show go yesterday?
I mean, all results of the game aside, I mean, the post-game shows everything. Dude, seriously, bro, when I quit my job in February of 2020, this is what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
cool.
I wanted to do this call-in show. And I always had like a few callers. I mean, I'd have like, 8 to 10 callers for years, you know, for 2-3 years. And now, bro, now it's, dude, I can't even talk, which I don't care. I don't need to talk. But like it's just nonstop phone ringing. So when I go to edit it, like the show's good, but the editing is everything because I can go and dude, if 50 people called, okay, well that's 50 people that called and said Pete Carmichael's got to go. This guy sucks. This, and it's just like next thing you know it, bro, you got a whole beautiful montage of what Saints fans are, bro. This is what we do.
Yeah, so if you haven't checked it out, definitely go check it out. Now let's get into the game itself.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's 2 pages.
Okay, what we got? Just feed
and
us
I wrote,
go.
I know the first half, I wrote down a full page of nothing but fantastic things the entire game. I mean, the entire first half. Dude, this is one of the nicest pieces of paper you'll ever see. I mean, it's just so it's perfect.
Just read us some off. Just read us off some lines from your notes.
Dude. Jimmy Graham red zone touchdown. What a blessing. Beautiful second drive by Derek Carr. Love had a tight end deep, but he overthrows it. Demario Davis all over the field. Alante Taylor on performance enhancing beans. I mean, it was just like everything was perfect. And then the second half, bro, this is a tragedy. There was nothing good that happened pretty much. I mean, at 2:54 p.m., I wrote down my chest is hurting really bad. My chest.
Sharp pains. Sharp pains in my arteries.
So, I mean, you just knew, I know y'all were talking about it earlier with the kick. I mean, dude, there was no doubt in my mind that he was going to miss that field.
I don't know if it was like the general momentum of the game, but I'm with you, Mayo. Like, never has a field goal attempt ever felt more doomed than when tiny little Blake Groupie was stepping up at Lambeau Field to try to take the lead with a minute left.
Yeah, I mean, it was just and dude, look, like them going for 2, like when the Packers went for 2, like why? It's just like these indicators told me that we were going to lose this game, bro. You know what I'm saying? It was just everything pointing to we were going to lose this game. And it hurt, man. Somebody called me last night and they said it was like your grandma who is fully healthy, no problems, nothing. And then you get the call that she's gone. That's the feeling.
Oh my God.
That's the feeling. Dude, that was the feeling I felt like after the Saints game
yesterday. You're not, it was, what's sad to me is something that you're hitting on there, Dev, is after the injury, and as you start these 5 punts in a row, there was an inevitable sense of dread that was slowly but surely growing, right? That okay, it's like, even though I know the win probability is probably like 95 right now, and there's no way that it should happen, it just kept feeling like this is going to happen. This is really going to happen. And then, as you said, once the 2-point conversion was made, that was basically the nail in the coffin that, okay, that's a wrap. I wonder why that is, though. I guess because the offense just looked so ineffective at the time. Couldn't move the ball at all.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think that's why. I mean, you knew you stalled. You knew you had a backup quarterback in. You knew your offensive line couldn't run block to save them lives. And in a game like that, what do? Well, you run 4-minute offense.
True.
Right? That's what you do. You bleed clock because you're like, we have this lead. Well, you couldn't because you don't have right now the ability to do that. Your offensive line cannot run block. They cannot create space for a running back. And so you have a rookie running back that's in there trying to do everything he can. He actually had a pretty nice day considering that's his debut. But when you can't bleed clock with a lead like that, that's always going to be a possibility.
Yeah, I also think that's correct. And I also think that once you put Jameis in, I mean, they were just trying to get out of that. You know what I'm saying? Like they were just trying to get out of that. It was very conservative, especially considering when you can't run the ball, then it looks really conservative. Yeah. Bunch of punts. It was demoralizing, man. But on to the next. And then I guess the good news is that like we play NFC South-wise, we play Tampa, and then we don't play an NFC South game until Week 12 against Atlanta. So that's pretty crazy, when you think about that. Because we already 1-0.
Yeah, I guess that's that's something they've been doing a lot more in the NFL lately, which is really smart. They schedule the vast majority of those divisional games for like the end of the year when teams are going to be trading to try to win the division. So wait, that's weird to think about those. So your first Falcons game is going to be Week 12.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. A little time to figure it out. Get Derek Carr back. At least you avoid the disastrous news of, out for a long time. It's why you pay Jameis Winston. You do have a quality backup. I would say one of the issues, though, and again, I don't know how it gets fixed because not even the offensive line knows how they get fixed, according to Eric McCoy. But one of the issues here, we're just getting a very large sample size that the offense under Allen and Carmichael sucks. We've had a lot of rotating pieces. We've tried a lot of different things, and the offense and I like Carr, and even Carr, like I like him more, like I said, to be able to overcome something like the O-line like we talked about earlier. But it's still, the offense just kind of sucks. And you have a great defense, so it is what it is. I mean, just sometimes how this thing works, but it's just, I'd be even though the defense, you could argue, blew it, giving up the points or whatever, I'd be very frustrated if I give up 18 in an NFL game and lose. On the road.
On the road's a key, yeah.
Yeah, technically, you can't put it on the defense. They played literally, bro. Like, I wrote that down, too. I was like, man, every possession that the defense was on the field up until those last, two – they played, like, pretty much lights out. And, what do you want them to do? You're just not doing anything on offense. And you're right, bro. Derek Carr can overcome. He'll make 3 or 4, courageous throws or decisions. And that's how we've won 2 games that were really, kind of tight. And, so it hurts, bro. It's the worst, man. It's
how do you try to flush it? How do you try to flush it? Because that's the thing. Yeah, it's one thing to lose, but this is the type where you just like, how do you stop it from keeping you down mentally the rest of this week?
Man, I'm just not like, no. I'm just not optimistic that, all right, like for instance, okay, maybe we could beat I'm tired of looking at it from like what team we play in perspective, because obviously that doesn't matter, right? Because we just lost to Green Bay, and I just thought that was a pretty mediocre team. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So here we go playing Tampa. If we can win against Tampa, then you got to go play at New England. That game's gonna suck.
Yeah.
This was always going to be a stretch for the Saints where they had 4 of their 5 games on the road. And in the NFL, it doesn't matter who you're playing on the road. Like, you got to be able to handle those things. And that's what made yesterday's game so important, is because you had a 3-score lead and you weren't able to close the door because look, you were at Carolina, you're at Green Bay, you come back home against Tampa, you're back on the road, like Dev said, against New England, and then you go a short trip to Houston, but still you're on the road. And then you come back home for Jacksonville and go right back to Indy. So, this is a tough stretch for the Saints.
Indy looks good. Indy looks way better than you would have thought they did at the beginning of the year, man.
Shout out Shane.
In their own right. Handing the Ravens there first. So Shane Steichen is, he's the man.
Yeah.
He's the man, right? Clear. Look at the resume he is leaving in the NFL. He's awesome.
Yeah, Rivers, Herbert, Hurts, and now it's like you got Gardner Minshew out there beating the Ravens on the road.
And Richardson was playing well. For whatever, Richardson was being productive when he was playing. I'm sorry,
dude. How about that Texans Jaguars game? Jacob, 84-yard fullback.
Yeah, weekend
return.
winner.
That's
no
how bad.
Doubt, Dev.
That's how bad my bets went yesterday, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Like, I picked the Jaguars, dude. Like, and I saw that. I was like, bro.
So I'm sure that the sharpest of sharps would tell me that this is wrong, and it's actually the most predictable because of how professional it is. But I don't even gamble on the NFL anymore, boys.
Yes,
I find it impossible.
Yeah.
Or not impossible. I gamble with the freedom of, I could close my eyes and pick, and it would go just as well.
Yeah, I always use alternate spreads in the NFL. It's too tough. It's too tough. Like I've got to like give up some juice to be able to feel like I have any kind of an advantage at all.
Yeah, it's been spontaneous. Like reminds me of like MLB, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like you go bet on the Dodgers because they hot. And next thing you know, like they lose to some team that's just not even good. It's just been reminding me of that. You know, there's a lot of that yesterday. The Cardinals beat the Cowgirls. The Texans beat the Jaguars. I mean, it was it was a crazy day.
Yeah, Colts and Ravens on the road.
Yeah.
Dev, so we got into it a little bit over JD5 last week. How do we feel about our guy JD5 this week?
I feel pretty good. I'm just gonna be honest. I feel good about him overcoming adversity. That was a pretty like I even was thinking about like texting you like after that first interception. I was like, bro, like
wow.
Okay. Fire it off next time. About it. Send it my way.
Yeah. I was like, bro, just check. I was gonna be like, just checking in. Just checking in.
Oh, don't worry. We had one of our friends do the same thing.
Okay. So you're glad that you didn't then, because he ended up getting it in the end, dude.
You know what I've noticed the last 2 weeks? I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody watching LSU's noticed this. Man, just let this guy throw the ball on the right side of the field deep, man, or the left side of the field deep, man. They're gonna get it.
If they want to man up Brian Thomas or Malik Neighbors, don't think twice about it. Just launch it. Yeah. You know, like if you make the correct read and you know it's there, just launch it.
Almost like on a 3rd and long, I was like, oh, you know what? Let's throw it down there, 50-50 ball.
Yeah.
It feels more like 60-40 for you. If they intercept it, it's a punt.
Exactly. Why not?
With the way that these two guys are going up and just getting the ball, even like on underthrows.
Yeah, I think that's just what you got to do. I mean, that's been your most successful thing is just throwing it deep to Brian Thomas or Neighbors, bro. Yeah. So that's got to be in the game plan every week.
Again, though, remember right now, leading the SEC in passer rating, leading in touchdowns, leading in yards per game. He's 10.5 yards per attempt, and he's completing 72% of his passes, and it's with an additional 50 on the ground right now. So I mean, he's played good teams. 3 of the 4 good teams, not just scrambling.
It's still for me. All right. It's still for me like playing a game with levels. You know what I'm saying? And okay, we got past the first few levels. It's like playing like Super Mario. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, no doubt,
I want to see him. I still kind of feel. Don't get me wrong. I was impressed. Still want to see it happen against the better teams. But Arkansas is a big step, bro, because we always.
It's weird to me though. It's weird to me where it's like I don't know if I need to see it because I saw it against the good teams last year, like right with like something like the Alabama game. What I want to see is the no drop off game, and I felt through a quarter and a half like I was about to be proven dead wrong, and that one of those extended drop off games was coming, and everybody was just going to be like, "Oh, you idiot! I told you." And so that's where I come away like, okay, he found a way to get back. Because, like, I don't think you're going to throw for 350 against Bama. And then again, I can't wait to watch that O-line and D-line go against each other. But whatever. We can't worry about that right now because the LSU defense has to worry about trying to stop Lane and Ole Miss at home looking for revenge after getting embarrassed by the Tide on Saturday.
What about Ryan Day yelling at 86-year-old Lou Holtz, asking, "Hey, I wonder where Lou Holtz is right now."
Said it with his chest out, like was mad.
Also, like, Ohio State didn't come off as especially tough to me out of this game. They couldn't run it on short yardage situations.
They got stuffed.
Yeah, they kept getting.
They barely got
stuffed.
in with 10 guys on the field.
Yeah, there weren't even 10 on the field. They ran it to where the DN should have been, and they made it in by 6 inches. Like Ryan Day, calm down, don't yell at Lou.
Like he had that in his memory
Where
bank.
are Lou Holtz is right now?
That was the first thing he said.
First thing after that win, the first thing he did was go after Lou Holtz.
Well, it's also weird because do any of us remember Ryan Day saying anything ever? Like I couldn't even have told you what Ryan Day sounded like before this. He's the most placeholder, generic, just for men looking dude I've ever seen in my entire life. And then he just comes out, his first public statement's going to be bashing Lou? Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Dude, hey, props to Lou Holtz, though, bro. 86 years old, still in people's heads, bro.
Yeah.
Still, like, how many 86-year-olds do you know that can piss somebody off still like that, bro? Like, usually these people are at peace, right? Like, no, bro. Lou Holtz is really still getting in people's heads, bro. This is amazing.
It was nice to see Lou get some run because if you're our age, it'll probably always be Lou and Mark May and Reese Davis there.
Reese Davis, yeah.
They were awesome.
Hey, y'all saw the Joe Exotic tried to pull a prison hustle on Joe Burrow and tried to get $20,000 out of him. He wrote him a letter and everything. Suspects wrote him a letter out of prison. The Tiger King.
Okay, so that is wait, okay. I was wondering. So that is that's Joe Exotic. I forgot. Okay, the Tiger King. Okay,
bro,
he's
you got to think,
jail.
bro.
He's still in jail.
Yeah.
So what did he write Joe Burrow?
You've been in prison for a long time, man. You're gonna start thinking of like maneuvers, and like ways to like, make your situation better. And you got a lot of time to think about it. Well, Joe Exotic somehow thought, hey, I'm gonna hit up Joe Burrow, write him a letter, and he was saying that Joe Burrow was calling himself the Tiger King, which I've actually never heard one time. I've never heard anybody call Joe Burrow the Tiger King. You know what I'm saying?
Seen it sparingly, but never in anything that I would describe as being an actual nickname.
Yeah, some guy selling shirts on the side of Bourbon Street, maybe. That's about it.
Yeah, like stuff like that. Yes. But no, never anything official. So he threatened to sue him?
No, he was like, it was one of those like, it's like, hey, come sit down here and talk to me, man. Like, you should give me $20,000 type thing, like because of what you're saying. Like, and you could tell he was so uninformed on Joe Burrow, bro. Like, it's like the most incarcerated, like viewpoint of Joe Burrow you could possibly have. You could tell he knew nothing about him. He just had somebody tell him that this guy was calling himself the Tiger King. That's all.
Oh my God.
That's all it was.
Dev, anything else on today's spread lines? Where's RB and RB? Where's RB and R Day going today?
I'm not sure yet, man. The only other thing I had on here was like John Vilma sucking off Jordan Love. I thought that was disrespect. That was like Mario. I thought that was pretty like, I mean, I understand like being an unbiased announcer, but like, dude, don't. You ain't got to suck the guy off, bro. It's all good,
Poor Mario.
All right, 18 points in the fourth quarter against a team that allowed one touchdown in 11 quarters.
As a man in the booth, you should, Vilma's good company to keep. So there you go, Mario. If I want to spin this in a positive for you. If it's you and Vilma, that's not bad company to have.
Thank you. Shout out.
Cuckolds both, but still. I don't know, Well, Taylor is too, though. I mean, he was sitting here, I'm happy for Josh Dobbs. Nerd. Actually,
and who is this kid?
Go ahead.
Who is this kid, George McIntyre, bro? The number 2 quarterback in the country. Y'all seen him?
What? What is this?
You know what I'm talking about?
Number 2 in what?
Hey, breaking news, OTB, not the place maybe to come for recruit news.
Oh, you're talking about recruiting. I'm like looking up like stat. I thought I was missing like a Western Michigan quarterback or something.
No. I saw a picture of this guy, and he's supposed to be like on the fence.
I saw that.
I don't even know if he's. Yeah, I don't even know. He was at the game, but dude, this kid looks 120 pounds. I mean, I don't even understand like how this would work out, even if he gained weight. You know what I'm saying? Like if he gained weight, he only looks 140. It's just. I don't know, man. I saw that picture, man.
He's got to eat the beans.
Got to get this guy on beans, bro. This guy, he just looks small. You know what I'm saying?
And
shout out
the
Usher.
only reason I know about him is that tweet that you did. Shout out Usher. You excited?
Yeah. I kind of am. People are always hating on Usher, bro. I don't get it because that was my childhood. You know what I'm saying? So I am excited for Usher, bro.
Dev, how many mixed CDs did you pass out that had a little Usher Raymond on them?
Wait, say it again.
How many mixed CDs? You might be too young for this. Did you pass out that had Usher Raymond on them?
Oh, all my
every one
CDs
of them.
had Usher on it.
At least one.
Yeah,
at least one.
Because,
yeah,
because the way people did it in the parish, we couldn't stay on one genre. We did a party mix.
Yeah.
Every time we made a burn CD, it was you'd have rap, R&B, rock, country, everything on one CD. It was man, I'll never forget. Real quick before I get out of here, I made a burn CD one time, right? And I took pictures of me like flipping the bird and stuff like to put on the CD. I was only like 7. I was such a bad kid. I was only like 7 years old, and I put it on the front of the CD. My dad found the CD, and it was like me flipping the bird as the comments say. It had like It had like Limp Bizkit on it and stuff like that, corn. And yeah, dude, I'll never forget that, bro. My dad took the belt off so quick, bro. That's back when people were still getting
quick
belt
that you
whoopings.
could hear the belt like hit every single loop as it was taking off, but it was quick too. That was like.
Also, isn't that like every like that at that time, that era, every parent's like, this is what hip hop's gonna do to your kids, and that's how you're like, ah.
It wasn't hip hop for us. Like at our school, it was techno music.
Oh wow!
Parents were terrified of techno music. We're like, it doesn't even have words. Like, what are we doing now?
Wait, what is
these driving house beats are driving them to
It was
madness
it
and
was the
lust.
wildest thing. Like my parents never cared. Shout out to Joey and Nancy. But yeah, I had friends like their parents wouldn't let them listen to techno. I'm like, if you can't listen to techno,
Is this Swedish House Mafia? Get this crap out of my house right now!
Get this demonic techno out of my home.
Oh my god!
It's like the SpongeBob episode, turning everybody into robots.
Oh my god! All right, Deb, you have a great day.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Holla, spread lines, hold the mayo.
Go dust off your Baker jersey, hold the mayo.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So you're trying to get a little
on
cucked
the
back.
way out.
No, he's not allowed back in the Baker fan club. I told him that last week.
Why not? He bailed on
Because he bailed on Baker last year. If you're in their fan club, if you're on their bandwagon, you can't just hop on and off when it's convenient for you.
Yeah, if you didn't want Baker in Carolina,
right.
you don't deserve Baker in Tampa. You know, more OTB next.
OTB, OT.
Go to the Noel family. So actually, don't go to you can go to the distillery if you want. The distillery's in Donsville. It's awesome. It's a very cool building. But what you need to do is if you're at the bar or you're at the grocery store, ask for Noel. Okay, I've tasted the entire line. When I tell you they spent years refining the vodka, the pickle vodka, the tequila, both Reposado and Blanco. The rum is incredible. The rum aged tequila is one of the most interesting things I've ever tasted. The point is, I believe in the product. You are getting top quality, well manicured taste, and it is available wherever. So why are you buying vodka from Austin? Okay, buy from the boot. Keep it local. With the L on your chest, ask for Noel when you're in the bar next time.
Yeah, you're probably seeing their signage all over Tiger Stadium. I mean, they are the official partner right there of LSU. And look, from our partners, farmers' lands to your hands, great saying there, noeldistillery.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Officially, it's a fridge full of beer. Unofficially, it's free AC. Coors Light, the official beer of everything unofficial.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luber for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Join me for a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We'll hear from Brian Kelly reacting to LSU and Arkansas Saints Packers recap, and Denton Day from SiriusXM on the weekend in college football. Hunt Palmer Show 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Yo, what's up, y'all? We've ruined the show. We've gone so long. So I apologize for what the rest of the show is going to be, but it's not going to be very long. Had a great weekend on DraftKings, though, Jake. Not going to lie there. Like I said, cleaned up a bit. The pontoon parlay hit. What a great time to be alive. Remember, you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. All one word. Promo code Baton Rouge. And you bet $5 on the NFL. And what do you get? You get $200 in free bets right away. And then every game day, and a bunch of people, I was talking to some guys at the bar Saturday. They always got great NFL game day deals going on if you're a returning customer. Those are all customers. But it's not just the NFL. Like, I had a buddy at the bar Saturday night who turned one of the free bonus bets. He just randomly got through a promotion into like a few $100s. Like, it's just because he's like, I'll just throw it on some crazy parlay. It's so much fun. Get in the action with DraftKings.
Early line real quick. Sorry, T-Bob.
Go for it.
Early line for LSU Ole Miss. Shout out to Mario. Early line. -3 for LSU.
Yeah.
On the road against Ole Miss.
That makes sense. Must be 21 or older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms of sportsbook.draftkings.com/football. Terms licensee partner Golden Lake Charles. Gambling problem code 100-GAMBLER 100-426-2537. Hey. Big win for Wazoo, like you said, though, Jake.
It was a very big win. That was
Shout
a
out,
great
go
game.
Cougs.
That lived up to some hype, and I was hoping that game would do exactly that. But yeah, shout out to Washington State in the Left Behind Bowl. They went out there and won. I believe 38-35 was the final.
Left Behind Bowl is such a good name. I was calling it the Battle of the Bastards, but I like Left Behind Bowl more because that was funny show books back in the day.
Yeah, shout out Kirk Cameron. A couple of I keep saying early line.
Shout out Alan Thicke.
R.I.P.
Is he the dad in Growing Pains? Is Alan
Yeah,
Thicke? Okay,
right? Yes. Yeah, Robin Thicke's father.
I think so.
Yeah. Yes. USC is a 22.5-point favorite against Colorado.
Okay.
Kentucky, a 2.5-point favorite at home against Florida.
Kentucky's booty.
Georgia, 14.5-point favorite on the road against Auburn. Michigan on the road, 18-point favorite against Nebraska. Texas, 17-point favorite against Kansas.
Ooh, boy.
17-point favorite.
Kansas, all Kansas does is make
against
money every
Kansas.
weekend.
Duke, 5.5-point favorite on the road against Duke. Ooh, okay. All right, now. Let's see, any other interesting ones. Alabama, 14.5-point favorite on the road and Start Vegas.
Okay, there you go. Some early lines here on OTB. Coming up next.
It's a great name for a show. We should do it.
Coming up next, let's close out the show with Ask the Bench.
OTB OT.
Community Steel Co. CommunitySteelCo.com. Those are your local steel boys. Okay, go see them over there in Gonzales. Check out the 15,000 square foot warehouse. They're adding on a ton more, doubling. inside the fact. The reason why they're growing is because their customers love them. Because who doesn't love getting the best prices? Who doesn't love excellent customer service? Who doesn't love a live and local sales team, not some national order form on a website or any BS like that where a bunch of middlemen are jacking up the price, okay? Community Steel Company. Call him today. Perlin, Tubin, Steel Buildings. CommunitySteelCompany.com.
225-647-2020. 225-647-2020. Talk to somebody here in the Baton Rouge area. Don't talk to somebody in Houston, Atlanta, Dallas, some other major market. You're talking to somebody that is local here. In fact, they're here in Gonzales right now. They're open. They opened like 2 hours ago. So go see them. 225-647-2020.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Life in Louisiana is a song. A symphony of sound, colors, and movement. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated.
Matt Moscona inviting him to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. We'll recap LSU, Arkansas, Saints, Packers, and your full football weekend. Join us for Monday's AFR, 3 to 6, 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Guys, we forgot to mention something big.
What's that?
Tiffany Gomez, a.k.a. That MFer is not real girl on the plane. I don't exactly know why, but she was at the LSU game. So a present guy highlight because the internet just is so funny and how it figures stuff out.
Yep.
Highlight appears to be a Instagram story First LSU game. Here we go. GEAUX. So we got celebrity fan, Tiffany Gomez.
Sure.
Shut up.
Sure, yeah. I mean, maybe she was saying that about Malik Neighbors by the end of the game.
What, celebrity fan?
No, that he wasn't real.
Oh, I'm an idiot. Yes, duh, of course. Yeah, they should have
He was out there
been, 'cause
balling.
He was awesome. Pretty good looking, too. It seems to be most people's general takeaway.
Bonk?
No, definitely. Yep, yeah, absolutely. I'll take it. I don't think I'm saying anything that nobody didn't know, though. Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cold Curse Light, Vizzy Hard Seltzer, and Blue Moon Light Sky Citrus Wheat. Ask the Bench, biggest takeaways from Bama Dub, and do you think Andre Sam stepped up to the task last game after stepping in for Brooks? A lot of secondary, kind of some good and bad, so I don't know. It's tough to judge. Moments, for sure.
Gosh, I mean, T-Bob and I are I got to show T-Bob some plays after the game that he already watched and that we watched, and that I think we'll play maybe 1 or 2 tomorrow.
Yeah.
I know we're not supposed to, but I think we have to.
Yeah.
I think we have to show you it's 10 guys doing the right thing, one guy not doing what he's supposed to be doing, and it looks like a complete breakdown of a defense when, in fact, it's just a singular player. Now, bad teams have that. You're a good team, so you shouldn't have that. So you got to get rid of that.
And my only takeaway from the Bama game is they are a very good matchup for Ole Miss, right? In terms of their strengths being better than Ole Miss strengths and their weaknesses not being as exploitable.
Yeah, remember, Tulane's defensive front got after Ole Miss's offensive front.
And Alabama's defensive front is awesome.
Yeah.
Ask the Bench, in honor of National Quesadilla Day, what's your go-to quesadilla?
Any of them. I love quesadillas. So good. Love a good steak quesadilla.
Yeah, steak and cheese. If I'm just ordering what type.
I want like peppers and onions. I want it all in there.
Hell yeah.
I want to remind you to go to Rejuve Me Medical. RejuveMeMedical.com. Restore me, refuel me, rejuve me. You need to feel young again. You want to have the energy you used to have. If you're having sexual dysfunction problems, if you are having mood and memory problems, insomnia, weight gain, your workouts aren't as effective, Rejuve Me understands what to do, okay? Whether you're male, female, 20, 30, 40, 50, they get it. Get your labs drawn and let them customize a plan for you to get you where you want to be. I love a steak and shrimp fajita. That's my fajita order. Gulf South. What if you have 10 guys doing the right thing on the field, but the 11th is on the bench?
That also equals a loss twice.
Hey, y'all have a great day. See you tomorrow.
OTB, OT. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and